Take control of your first impression, starting today. You will learn simple, practical moves that calm your voice, steady your presence, and make your words stick. Picture a small room or a busy hallway and feel how confident speech changes the way people listen when your breath is even, your voice is clear, and your posture is steady. That sense of calm can be built with short, daily actions you can start right now. This audio guide focuses on real practice, not empty tips. You will get easy steps to shape a short introduction that people remember, ways to choose words that feel natural, and exercises to strengthen your voice and pronunciation. You will also learn how to use your body to back up your words, how to keep questions ready so conversations flow, and how to turn feedback into fast gains. Each idea is designed so you can try it immediately and see progress within days. Expect clear explanations, simple drills, and honest encouragement. The examples are plain, and the practice routines are short, so they fit into a busy day. There are moments to slow down, breathe, and listen to your progress, and moments to speak out loud and test what worked. You will hear what to do and why it matters, and you will get concrete ways to apply it in real life. If you want to stop feeling tongue-tied in meetings, start stronger conversations at social events, or deliver a 1-minute pitch that sounds like you, this recording will guide you step by step. Stay with the full audiobook to pick up a set of short habits that compound into real confidence, and to discover a simple framing that makes introductions clear, calm, and effective every time. Start now by noticing one small habit you can change today, and by committing to 1 minute of practice. Consistent action is how skills grow, and small wins give you the courage to keep going. Keep listening and practice along, and by the end, you will have tools to introduce yourself in English with clarity, confidence, and real presence. Chapter 1. Master a clear, confident self-introduction in English. Mastering a clear and confident self-introduction in English is more than just a matter of words. It is an exercise in self-awareness, self-discipline, and personal growth. When you introduce yourself clearly and confidently, you are not merely conveying facts about your life. You are demonstrating your inner strength, your values, and your ability to navigate the world with presence and composure. A strong self-introduction signals to others that you are someone worth listening to, someone who respects both yourself and those you meet. It is a skill that transcends language itself, influencing every interaction you have, and opening doors to opportunities you may not have imagined. The first step in mastering a confident self-introduction is understanding who you are and what you want to convey. Confidence is rooted in clarity. Before you even speak, you must be certain of your message. Take time to reflect on your identity, your experiences, and the qualities you wish to highlight. Ask yourself questions like, what defines me? What am I proud of? And what impression do I want to leave? These reflections will serve as the foundation of your introduction. Knowing yourself deeply allows you to speak with authenticity, which is far more powerful than trying to impress others with words alone. Confidence stems from this authenticity because when you know your truth, hesitation and doubt diminish. Once you understand your core message, begin constructing a concise and structured self-introduction. Simplicity is key. A strong introduction does not need to be long or overly complicated. It should clearly state who you are, what you do, and what matters most to you in a way that is easy for listeners to understand and remember. This clarity helps you speak with certainty, and it ensures that the listener receives your message without confusion. To structure your introduction effectively, think of it in 3 parts: your identity, your current role or purpose, and a unique element that sets you apart. The unique element could be a specific skill, a personal value, or a defining experience. By including this, you create a memorable impression and give people something concrete to remember about you. Practice is the bridge between theory and mastery. Confidence does not come from simply knowing what to say. It comes from repeated action. Speaking your introduction aloud daily trains both your mind and your body to perform with ease. When you practice, pay attention to tone, pacing, and clarity. Speaking too fast can make your words stumble, while speaking too slowly can disengage your audience. Find a natural rhythm that suits your personality and communicates authority without arrogance. Record yourself if possible and listen critically. Notice the areas where you hesitate or lose strength and work on them deliberately. Over time, the act of introducing yourself becomes second nature and your confidence grows organically. Another critical element is your posture and body language. Communication is not solely verbal. Your physical presence influences how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Stand tall, maintain open gestures, and make eye contact. These signals convey confidence even before a word is spoken. If you are nervous, small adjustments in posture can create a significant difference. Straighten your spine, relax your shoulders, and breathe deeply. A calm and poised exterior not only impresses others, but also reinforces your own internal sense of confidence. Body language and voice work together to create a holistic sense of presence, and mastering both ensures your introduction resonates fully. Language choice is also essential. While vocabulary and grammar are important, clarity and simplicity often outweigh complexity. Choose words that are precise, active, and relatable. Avoid overcomplicating sentences or using phrases you do not fully understand, as this can erode confidence. Instead, focus on conveying your message in a way that is straightforward and impactful. Strong introductions are not built on flowery language, but on the ability to communicate ideas clearly and confidently. Using simple language allows you to adapt to a variety of listeners and ensures your message is universally understood. Listening and observing others can also enhance your self-introduction. Notice how confident speakers present themselves and what makes their introductions engaging. Observe the tone, structure, and energy they bring to their words. This does not mean imitating others blindly. Rather, it is about learning patterns and strategies that you can incorporate into your own style. The key is adaptation. Take what resonates and adjust it to fit your personality and context. The ability to observe and integrate insights from others reflects self-discipline and a growth mindset, both of which are critical for lifelong improvement. Fear and hesitation are natural barriers to a confident introduction. Many people overthink how they will be perceived and worry about making mistakes. Understanding that perfection is not the goal is liberating. Confidence grows when you accept imperfection and focus on effort and improvement rather than flawless execution. Speak with intention, even if your words are not perfect. Each interaction is an opportunity to refine your skills, build resilience, and strengthen your presence. Facing these small daily challenges develops courage, self-reliance, and a deeper understanding of your own abilities. It is equally important to cultivate a mindset of curiosity and connection. Introducing yourself is not solely about presenting yourself, it is about engaging with others. When you approach introductions with genuine interest in your listener, your confidence naturally increases. Listening attentively and responding thoughtfully enhances the dynamic between you and the person you are meeting. A clear and confident introduction paired with active engagement creates rapport, leaves a positive impression, and opens doors for meaningful conversations. Confidence without connection can feel hollow, but confidence coupled with empathy and awareness is magnetic. Practical exercises can accelerate your mastery. Begin by writing a 60-second version of your self-introduction. Include your name, your primary role or focus, and one personal or professional highlight that demonstrates your uniqueness. Read it aloud slowly, paying attention to clarity, tone, and confidence. Once comfortable, practice variations for different settings, such as professional meetings, casual encounters, or networking events. This flexibility allows you to adapt seamlessly to any context, demonstrating poise and readiness. Over time, you can refine your introduction until it becomes natural, confident, and compelling in every situation. Incorporating feedback is another crucial step. Seek input from trusted friends, colleagues, or mentors. Ask them what they remember about your introduction, what felt strong, and what could improve. External perspectives provide insights you might overlook and help you calibrate your delivery for maximum impact. Constructive feedback, when applied with discipline and commitment, accelerates growth and transforms a simple introduction into a powerful statement of self-assurance. Confidence also thrives on preparation beyond the words themselves. Preparing mentally before an introduction can enhance your clarity and poise. Visualize the interaction, anticipate potential questions, and set your intention for the meeting. Mental rehearsal reduces anxiety and increases focus, enabling you to present yourself in the most confident and composed manner possible. Preparation reinforces discipline, a Stoic principle that emphasizes mastery over one's actions and responses. By training your mind alongside your words, you create a holistic foundation for consistent confidence. Self-reflection after each introduction is equally important. Take a few moments to assess how the encounter went. Identify what went well and what can improve next time. Reflecting regularly allows you to recognize progress, reinforce successful habits, and address weaknesses systematically. Over time, this continuous self-assessment cultivates self-awareness, resilience, and the ability to handle even challenging interactions with calm and competence. Mastery of self-introduction is not a single event. It is the result of disciplined practice, reflection, and persistent effort. The emotional aspect of a self-introduction should not be ignored. Confidence is amplified when you feel grounded, present, and authentic. Connecting with your own emotions, such as pride in your achievements or passion for your work, imbues your words with energy and sincerity. People respond to the emotions behind the words more than the words themselves. Cultivating awareness of your feelings and channeling them effectively into your introductions strengthens both your impact and your internal sense of self-worth. Another practical strategy is to develop a library of examples or stories that illustrate your abilities, values, or achievements. Having a few concise anecdotes ready allows you to add depth to your introduction without overthinking. These stories should be short, focused, and relevant, highlighting qualities that matter most in the context of the interaction. Storytelling is a powerful tool that makes your introduction memorable and provides evidence of your competence and character. Consistency is essential. Confidence is not built overnight. Daily practice of self-introduction, whether in front of a mirror, with friends, or in professional settings, reinforces habits and reduces anxiety over time. Small, consistent efforts accumulate into significant transformation. Discipline and repetition are at the core of personal growth, and practicing your introduction regularly embodies these principles, ensuring that you can present yourself with clarity and authority in any situation. It is important to approach self-introduction as part of a broader journey of self-improvement. Confidence in speaking reflects inner growth, resilience, and intentional living. Each time you introduce yourself, you practice clarity, presence, and discipline. Each interaction becomes a microcosm of life skills that extend far beyond language. Mastering this skill builds courage, self-respect, and the ability to navigate challenges with composure. By focusing on continuous improvement, you transform a simple act of speaking into a tool for personal empowerment. The Stoic perspective reminds us that external opinions should not dictate our self-worth or confidence. Mastery of self-introduction begins internally. When you anchor yourself in self-knowledge, preparation and disciplined practice, the approval or judgment of others becomes secondary. Confidence arises from self-mastery, from knowing your own value, and from executing your purpose with intention. The opinions of others are fleeting, but the skill of presenting yourself with clarity and strength lasts a lifetime. Finally, a clear and confident self-introduction is not an end in itself. It is a stepping stone to greater connection, opportunity, and influence. It cultivates self-discipline, clarity, and resilience, all of which are essential for meaningful personal growth. By committing to practice, reflection, and mindful execution, you create a foundation for lifelong improvement. Mastery of self-introduction is a journey that mirrors the journey of life, deliberate, disciplined, and continually evolving. Each time you speak your truth clearly, you reinforce your ability to live intentionally, act decisively, and approach the world with strength and calm. Mastering a clear and confident self-introduction, in English, is therefore both an art and a discipline. It requires self-awareness, preparation, deliberate practice, and the courage to act. By approaching this skill with focus and resilience, you not only improve your communication, but also strengthen your character and presence. Each word you speak becomes a reflection of your inner strength, your clarity of purpose, and your commitment to growth. Over time, this practice transforms how you are perceived, and more importantly, how you perceive yourself. It is a discipline that fosters confidence, cultivates respect, and opens doors to opportunities that reward those who act with intention and courage. A strong, confident self-introduction is a reflection of a life lived with purpose, discipline, and authenticity. It demonstrates clarity of mind, mastery of presence, and the ability to act decisively. It is both a skill and a philosophy, integrating personal growth, emotional intelligence, and practical action into one seamless practice. By dedicating yourself to mastering this essential skill, you lay the foundation for a life of greater influence, stronger relationships, and continual self-improvement. Each introduction becomes a small victory, each encounter a chance to refine your mastery, and each moment a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. Confidence in self-introduction is not a fleeting trait, but a cultivated skill, nurtured through reflection, practice, and disciplined effort. It requires patience, resilience, and commitment to continual improvement. By embracing these principles and applying them consistently, you develop a presence that is grounded, authentic, and compelling. Each introduction is an opportunity to affirm your values, express your identity, and connect meaningfully with the world. Mastering this skill transforms the way you communicate, interact, and influence, providing a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. Actionable steps include daily practice of your introduction, reflection on your performance, refinement based on feedback, attention to body language and voice, preparation of concise stories or examples, and cultivating emotional awareness. Each step reinforces your ability to present yourself with clarity, poise, and confidence. Over time, these deliberate actions build habits that extend beyond introductions, shaping how you navigate conversations, relationships, and opportunities with greater skill and resilience. The journey of mastering a self-introduction mirrors the journey of self-mastery itself. Each encounter is an exercise in self-awareness, discipline, and authenticity. Each interaction is an opportunity to practice composure, clarity, and connection. By committing to this path, you develop a presence that is not dependent on circumstances, but grounded in self-knowledge, preparation, and intentional action. Confidence becomes a byproduct of discipline, reflection, and consistent effort. In the end, the ability to introduce yourself clearly and confidently is transformative. It enhances communication, strengthens self-respect, fosters trust, and builds influence. It is a skill that empowers you to take control of first impressions, to navigate social and professional contexts with ease, and to express your identity with authority. By committing to deliberate practice, continuous improvement, and mindful application, you cultivate a lifelong ability that extends far beyond words, shaping your character, your habits, and your life. Every time you speak with clarity and confidence, you reinforce your ability to live intentionally, act decisively, and interact with the world in a meaningful way. Mastering a clear self-introduction is a foundation for broader personal growth, creating habits of reflection, discipline, and resilience that carry into every aspect of life. It is not just about being understood by others. It is about mastering yourself, your presence, and your ability to communicate with strength and purpose. True mastery comes from consistent action. It is cultivated daily through practice, observation, reflection, and refinement. By investing in this practice, you develop a skill that elevates your life, enhances your influence, and strengthens your character. Confidence in self-introduction is therefore not a superficial talent, but a reflection of a disciplined mind, a committed heart, and a person who seeks continual improvement. Each introduction is a chance to embody clarity, authenticity, and strength. Each opportunity reinforces habits of self-discipline, self-reflection, and presence. By embracing the process fully, you transform a simple act of speaking into a powerful tool for personal development. Mastery of self-introduction is a lifelong pursuit, aligning daily action with the principles of resilience, focus, and intentional living. Every encounter where you speak with clarity and confidence becomes a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. It is an act of courage, preparation, and presence. Through disciplined practice, self-reflection, and mindful execution, you develop not just a skill, but a way of being that resonates in every interaction. The clarity and confidence you cultivate ripple outward, influencing relationships, opportunities, and the perception others hold of you. In mastering a clear and confident self-introduction, you are also mastering the principles of personal growth. You learn to prepare, act deliberately, embrace feedback, manage emotions, and present yourself authentically. Each skill cultivated in this process contributes to a stronger, more resilient, and more capable version of yourself. The act of speaking becomes a discipline, the words a reflection of your character, and the interaction a stage for demonstrating your growth and competence. Ultimately, the journey to mastering a confident self-introduction is a journey towards self-mastery. Each word spoken, each gesture made, each moment of reflection contributes to a life of intentional action, personal growth, and meaningful connection. The clarity, confidence, and presence developed through this practice extend far beyond introductions, shaping how you navigate life, relationships, and opportunities with skill, resilience, and authenticity. The commitment to daily practice, reflection, and deliberate action ensures that mastery is achieved not by chance, but by disciplined effort. The result is a presence that commands respect, communicates clearly, and inspires confidence in others. Mastering a clear and confident self-introduction is therefore both a practical skill and a path toward personal transformation, cultivating habits, attitudes, and behaviors that elevate every aspect of life. Confidence in self-introduction is the foundation upon which every interaction is built. It strengthens self-discipline, enhances clarity of thought, and fosters meaningful connections. By committing to the principles outlined here and applying them consistently, mastery becomes inevitable. Each introduction becomes a practice in self-awareness, resilience, and authentic communication, shaping not just how others see you, but how you see yourself. This discipline, once cultivated, has a compounding effect. Each successful introduction builds confidence, reduces anxiety, and reinforces the habits of preparation, presence, and authenticity. Over time, these habits become second nature, forming a foundation for all future communication. Mastery of self-introduction is therefore not a skill acquired in isolation. It is an integrative practice that strengthens mind, body, and character simultaneously. The act of mastering a clear and confident self-introduction, in English, is transformative on multiple levels. It enhances communication skills, fosters self-discipline, cultivates emotional awareness, and reinforces personal presence. By practicing deliberately, reflecting honestly, and refining continually, you create a skill set that extends far beyond first impressions. Each encounter becomes an opportunity to exercise resilience, clarity, and authenticity. Each introduction becomes a statement of self-mastery, discipline, and purposeful action. By following these principles and committing to daily practice, you build a foundation for excellence in communication and personal growth. Every introduction is a reflection of preparation, self-knowledge, and confidence. Every interaction is an opportunity to reinforce habits of clarity, discipline, and presence. Over time, this practice leads to a level of mastery that influences every facet of life, from professional success to personal fulfillment. Confidence, clarity, and authenticity in self-introduction are cultivated through discipline, reflection, and consistent action. Mastery of this skill is therefore inseparable from the pursuit of personal growth, resilience, and intentional living. By committing fully to the process, you develop a presence that communicates strength, authenticity, and competence. Each introduction is a small but meaningful step in a lifelong journey of self-improvement, reinforcing habits, values, and skills that shape the person you become. Mastering a clear and confident self-introduction is ultimately about preparation, discipline, and presence. It requires awareness of self, attention to detail, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Each word, gesture, and pause carries weight and reflects the care and intentionality with which you live your life. Confidence grows not from ego, but from discipline, practice, and the steady application of these principles. The journey toward mastery is continuous. Each introduction is an opportunity to refine your communication, strengthen your presence, and build confidence. By approaching each encounter with intentionality and focus, you cultivate skills and habits that extend far beyond words. Self-introduction becomes a practice in discipline, resilience, and personal growth. Each interaction becomes a classroom, each moment a lesson, and each step forward a testament to your commitment to self-improvement. Through deliberate practice, reflection, and disciplined action, you create a strong, confident, and authentic presence. Mastery of self-introduction is therefore not a mere exercise in speaking. It is an ongoing journey in self-discipline, personal growth, and meaningful connection. Each introduction, executed with clarity and purpose, strengthens your ability to navigate life, relationships, and opportunities with confidence, presence, and intentionality. This chapter concludes with the understanding that confidence in self-introduction is earned through disciplined effort, self-awareness, and consistent practice. Each word you speak reflects preparation, clarity, and authenticity. Each introduction is a step toward personal mastery and a life led with purpose. By embracing these principles and applying them daily, you cultivate a presence that is strong, grounded, and influential, creating lasting impact in every interaction and building the foundation for a life of continual growth. Chapter 2. Craft a memorable opening line that shows your values. Your opening line is your first opportunity to make a lasting impression, and when crafted intentionally, it can communicate not only who you are, but also what you stand for and the principles that guide your life. The way you begin a conversation can set the tone for every interaction that follows, and a strong, value-driven opening line immediately signals confidence, clarity, and purpose. This is not about creating something flashy or artificial. It is about expressing your authentic self in a way that resonates with others and establishes credibility from the very first words. The first step in crafting a memorable opening line is understanding your core values and what matters most to you. Values are the compass that guide your decisions, your behavior, and your interactions with others. They are the principles that define your character and shape the way you approach life. When your opening line reflects these values, it communicates depth and authenticity. Before crafting your words, take time to reflect on your priorities, beliefs, and the qualities that you want others to recognize in you. This clarity ensures that your introduction is more than a recitation of facts. It becomes a statement of identity and integrity. Once you have identified your values, the next step is translating them into language that is concise, clear, and compelling. A memorable opening line is short enough to be easily understood and long enough to convey substance. It should be structured so that it draws attention immediately and leaves the listener curious to learn more. For example, instead of starting with generic statements about your work or background, consider framing your opening around what you are passionate about, the purpose that drives you, or a principle you live by. This approach captures interest quickly and sets the stage for meaningful conversation. Clarity and simplicity are essential. People connect with messages that are straightforward and easy to grasp. Avoid using complicated words, long sentences, or overly abstract concepts. Your goal is to be understood quickly and remembered accurately. A strong opening line uses precise language to convey a clear sense of who you are and what you value. Words carry weight, and carefully chosen ones create resonance. The language should reflect confidence without arrogance, warmth without hesitation, and authenticity without pretense. Equally important is the emotional tone of your opening line. Values are most impactful when they are expressed with sincerity and conviction. The way you deliver your words, your voice, your pacing, your inflection can enhance the emotional resonance of your message. Practice speaking your opening line aloud multiple times, experimenting with tone and rhythm until it feels natural and compelling. When your words align with your emotions, the listener perceives not just information, but also the energy, intention, and belief behind them. This alignment of language and feeling creates a magnetic presence. Storytelling can enhance the memorability of your opening line. A short, specific anecdote that illustrates your values can make your introduction vivid and relatable. Humans remember stories far better than abstract statements, and sharing a brief experience that reflects what you stand for demonstrates authenticity. For instance, instead of simply stating that you value perseverance, recount a brief moment when persistence led to tangible results in your life. This approach conveys substance, engages the listener, and reinforces the principles you wish to communicate. Practice and refinement are crucial to mastery. Crafting an opening line is not a one-time effort. It requires iteration, experimentation, and feedback. Test your line in different contexts: formal meetings, casual introductions, networking events, and observe the reactions of your listeners. Pay attention to what captures attention, what sparks curiosity, and what leaves a lasting impression. Make adjustments based on these observations, and be willing to refine your words until they feel natural, impactful, and true to your values. Your body language and nonverbal communication also play a key role in reinforcing the message of your opening line. Standing tall, maintaining eye contact, and using open gestures convey confidence and authenticity. The physical presence you bring to your words amplifies their impact. An opening line delivered with strong posture, steady breathing, and calm energy communicates credibility before the first syllable even leaves your mouth. Combining verbal clarity with physical confidence ensures your message is received with maximum effect. Another essential aspect is timing and context. A powerful opening line should be appropriate to the situation and tailored to the audience. Observing your environment and considering the listener's perspective increases the effectiveness of your introduction. Being attuned to context demonstrates awareness, adaptability, and emotional intelligence, all of which reinforce your credibility. Crafting a line that resonates with the situation shows respect for the listener and enhances your ability to connect meaningfully. Self-reflection after each introduction accelerates improvement. After delivering your opening line, evaluate its impact. Consider questions such as, did it convey my values clearly? Did it spark interest or engagement? Did it feel authentic to me? Honest self-assessment allows you to identify strengths and areas for refinement. Over time, this process leads to greater confidence, improved delivery, and the development of a line that consistently reflects your identity and principles. Confidence is strengthened when preparation meets action. While your values and words form the foundation of a memorable opening line, habitual practice ensures execution under pressure. Commit to rehearsing your line daily, incorporating it into routine conversations, and gradually expanding its use in more challenging contexts. Repetition creates fluency, reduces nervousness, and allows your introduction to flow naturally. Confidence is not simply a feeling, it is the result of disciplined preparation and consistent practice. Authenticity remains the core principle throughout this process. A line that does not reflect your true values may impress temporarily, but will ultimately feel hollow. Authenticity fosters trust and builds long-term connections. Speak from a place of truth and integrity, allowing your genuine self to guide your words. When authenticity aligns with clarity and emotional resonance, your opening line becomes a powerful instrument for influence, connection, and personal growth. Incorporating actionable specifics into your opening line increases its impact. Rather than making vague statements about what you believe or do, highlight concrete examples, outcomes, or skills. This demonstrates competence and reinforces credibility. For example, stating that you value collaboration can be strengthened by mentioning a project where teamwork achieved a meaningful result. Specificity lends weight to your words and allows listeners to form a clearer, more tangible impression of your principles in action. Adaptability is another vital component. A memorable opening line should be versatile, able to be slightly modified depending on the audience or environment, without losing its core message. The ability to adapt shows both social intelligence and preparedness. Consider preparing 2 or 3 variations of your line that retain the essence of your values, but are optimized for formal, casual, or professional settings. This flexibility ensures you are always ready to present yourself with clarity and impact. Engagement follows naturally when your opening line communicates both confidence and curiosity. A strong line invites dialogue, prompting listeners to respond, ask questions, or share their own experiences. Framing your introduction in a way that subtly encourages interaction creates a dynamic conversation rather than a one-sided statement. For example, including a brief insight into your passions or purpose can spark curiosity, making your introduction a gateway to deeper connection. Mindful breathing and voice control enhance delivery. The way you speak carries as much meaning as the words themselves. Calm, deliberate breaths help regulate pacing, reduce tension, and project authority. Variations in tone can emphasize key points, convey enthusiasm, or highlight sincerity. Paying attention to vocal quality ensures that your opening line is not just heard, but felt. Voice and presence reinforce the values you communicate and elevate the overall impact of your introduction. Feedback from trusted individuals accelerates mastery. Sharing your opening line with mentors, colleagues, or friends, and soliciting constructive input allows you to refine both content and delivery. Their perspective provides insights you may overlook and helps you gauge whether your line communicates the intended values effectively. Applying feedback with focus and discipline accelerates your growth and ensures your introduction resonates consistently across different settings. Commitment to continuous improvement is essential. Crafting a memorable, value-driven opening line is not a static task, but a dynamic practice. Regularly review, update, and enhance your line as your experiences, goals, and understanding of your values evolve. This ongoing process mirrors broader personal growth, reinforcing habits of reflection, discipline, and self-awareness. Mastery emerges not from perfection, but from consistent effort, attention, and the willingness to evolve. The ultimate purpose of a memorable opening line is to create a bridge between yourself and others. It serves as the first step in meaningful engagement, expressing not just your identity but your principles and priorities. When delivered with clarity, authenticity, and confidence, it invites trust, curiosity, and respect. A well-crafted opening line is a microcosm of personal growth. It demonstrates preparation, self-knowledge, emotional awareness, and disciplined execution. A line that shows your values transforms introductions into opportunities for connection and influence. It signals not just what you do, but who you are, what you stand for, and the integrity with which you live. Each delivery becomes a reflection of your personal growth, resilience, and commitment to continual improvement. Through deliberate practice, reflection, and mindful execution, you cultivate an opening line that not only communicates effectively, but also inspires, motivates, and resonates with lasting impact. Ultimately, the process of crafting a memorable opening line is a journey in self-expression and self-mastery. It combines clarity, authenticity, preparation, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. By committing to this practice, you create a tool that elevates your presence, strengthens your connections, and reflects your principles consistently. A well-crafted opening line communicates much more than your words. It communicates your character, your purpose, and the values that define you, leaving a lasting impression long after the first greeting. The discipline and focus required to craft such a line mirrors the principles of personal growth itself. Every effort invested in clarity, reflection, and practice compounds over time, producing results far beyond the immediate interaction. Mastery of this skill shapes how others perceive you, and more importantly, how you perceive yourself. It reinforces confidence, poise, and self-awareness, building habits that permeate all areas of life. When your opening line clearly conveys your values, it becomes a declaration of who you are and what you represent. It establishes a foundation for all subsequent interactions, guiding conversations toward authenticity and meaningful engagement. Each introduction becomes a conscious act of self-expression and a tangible demonstration of the discipline, insight, and resilience you bring to every encounter. By integrating clarity, emotional resonance, actionable specificity, adaptability, and continuous refinement, your opening line transforms from a simple statement into a powerful instrument of influence. It strengthens your presence, communicates your principles, and cultivates respect and trust. Consistent attention to this skill ensures that every introduction becomes an opportunity to demonstrate competence, integrity, and personal growth. A carefully crafted opening line is a tool for connection, influence, and self-expression. It encapsulates your values, demonstrates authenticity, and sets the tone for all interactions that follow. Mastery requires reflection, practice, and intentional refinement. Over time, this practice creates confidence, poise, and an enduring ability to communicate with clarity and purpose. By committing to this approach, you turn every first impression into a meaningful, value-driven experience that resonates deeply with others and strengthens your own sense of self. When executed with discipline and intention, a memorable opening line becomes more than words. It becomes a reflection of your character, a bridge to connection, and a daily exercise in self-mastery. Each time you craft and deliver your line, you reinforce clarity, authenticity, and presence, leaving a lasting impact and shaping both your relationships and your personal growth in meaningful ways. Chapter 3: Practice concise personal stories to connect with listeners. Every personal story you share has the power to leave a lasting impression and create a deep connection with your listeners when it is clear, concise, and purposeful. Stories are not just entertainment, they are a bridge that allows others to understand your experiences, your values, and the lessons that have shaped you. A concise story communicates meaning efficiently, captures attention quickly, and makes your introduction memorable. It is not about sharing everything that has ever happened to you, but about selecting the moments that reveal your character, your mindset, and your strengths. Each story you tell should have intention behind it, demonstrating who you are and what you stand for in a way that resonates with others. The first step in crafting concise personal stories is to identify moments in your life that truly define you. Think about challenges you have overcome, achievements you are proud of, or experiences that taught you a crucial lesson. These moments are powerful because they are authentic, relatable, and often universal. While your story may be unique, the emotions behind it, perseverance, courage, curiosity, or determination, are experiences that others can recognize and connect with. Choosing the right story requires reflection. Ask yourself which experiences best illustrate your values, your approach to life, or your ability to grow and adapt. This clarity allows you to share a story with focus and purpose, rather than wandering into irrelevant details. Once you have identified your story, the next step is to structure it for maximum impact. A concise story is one that has a clear beginning, middle, and end. Start by setting the scene briefly, providing only enough context for the listener to understand the situation. Avoid long-winded introductions or excessive background information. Move quickly to the pivotal moment, the challenge or decision point that shaped the outcome. Conclude with the lesson learned or the result achieved. This structure ensures that your story is not only compelling, but also easy for listeners to follow and remember. Clarity and precision in language are essential. Each word should serve a purpose, eliminating unnecessary details that dilute the impact of your story. Use active verbs and concrete descriptions to paint a vivid picture without overloading the listener with information. The goal is to create a clear mental image and convey meaning efficiently. When every sentence advances your story or highlights your character, the listener remains engaged and the story leaves a stronger impression. Concise storytelling is about quality over quantity, choosing words that enhance rather than distract. Emotion plays a crucial role in connecting with listeners. A story that is technically concise but emotionally flat will not resonate. Share your feelings, reactions, and insights in a way that feels authentic and relatable. Expressing vulnerability or pride in measured doses can humanize you and create empathy. Listeners connect with the emotional journey as much as the events themselves. By allowing your audience to feel what you felt, you create a deeper bond and make your story memorable for both its content and its emotional resonance. Practice transforms a good story into a powerful one. Rehearse telling your story aloud multiple times, paying attention to flow, tone, and timing. Focus on eliminating filler words, awkward pauses, and tangents. The goal is to tell your story naturally while keeping it concise and engaging. Record yourself and listen critically, noting areas where the story can be tightened or emphasized. With consistent practice, your story becomes second nature, allowing you to deliver it confidently in any situation without losing authenticity. Adaptability is key. The same story may need to be told differently depending on your audience or setting. For a professional networking event, focus on aspects that highlight skills, achievements, or lessons relevant to work. In a casual or social environment, emphasize experiences that reveal your personality, values, or passions. Being able to tailor your story to different contexts demonstrates awareness, social intelligence, and versatility. Your ability to connect with diverse audiences through a concise story enhances your credibility and strengthens relationships. Feedback accelerates growth. Share your story with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues, and invite constructive criticism. Ask whether your story is clear, engaging, and impactful. Pay attention to whether the listener grasps the lesson or message you intended. Use this feedback to refine your language, structure, and delivery. Adjustments based on external perspectives help ensure that your story resonates effectively and consistently, increasing its power to influence and connect. Timing and pacing influence the effectiveness of your story. Speak deliberately, allowing key moments to land with the listener. Avoid rushing through details, as this can make the story feel superficial, but also avoid lingering unnecessarily on minor points, which can cause attention to drift. Control of pacing demonstrates confidence and mastery over your narrative. Pausing strategically allows the listener to absorb the significance of what you are sharing and emphasizes critical insights or turning points in your story. Brevity is the hallmark of a concise personal story. Long-winded stories risk losing engagement and diluting the impact of your message. Aim to communicate the essence of your experience in 1 to 2 minutes, highlighting the challenge, the actions you took, and the result or lesson learned. Short, focused stories are easier for listeners to remember and often have a more profound impact than lengthy narratives. Practicing brevity teaches discipline and clarity in communication that extends beyond storytelling. Incorporating sensory details can elevate your story without adding unnecessary length. Briefly mentioning sights, sounds, or feelings related to the experience makes it more vivid and engaging. The goal is to immerse the listener just enough to create connection, without overwhelming them with irrelevant description. Sensory details used strategically enhance retention and emotional engagement, making your story more compelling and memorable. Purposeful reflection strengthens your storytelling. After each story you share, take a moment to consider the impact. Did your audience understand the lesson? Did the story convey your values? Did it foster connection? Regular reflection helps you fine-tune your content and delivery, ensuring that each story you tell is intentional and meaningful. This habit of reviewing and adjusting promotes continuous improvement in communication skills and self-awareness. Every story should reveal a piece of who you are. Avoid telling stories solely to impress others or to fill silence. Each narrative should illustrate a personal strength, a lesson learned, or a value you uphold. When your stories reflect authenticity and intention, listeners recognize your sincerity and are more likely to engage deeply. Your stories become a reflection of your character and a tool for creating trust and understanding. Confidence grows with repetition and mastery. The more often you practice telling your stories, the more naturally and comfortably you will deliver them. Mastery allows you to remain composed even under pressure, to adapt fluidly to interruptions or changes in context, and to maintain clarity and impact. Regular practice builds resilience and self-assurance, reinforcing the principle that excellence is the result of disciplined effort over time. Mindful delivery enhances connection. Pay attention to your voice, gestures, and facial expressions as you tell your story. Subtle emphasis on key words, changes in tone, and appropriate pauses can make your story more compelling. Nonverbal cues support the verbal message, reinforcing meaning and creating a sense of presence. When your body language aligns with your narrative, your story communicates powerfully on multiple levels simultaneously. Authenticity remains central to every story you share. Avoid exaggeration or fabrication, as this erodes trust and undermines credibility. Genuine experiences resonate far more than constructed narratives. Embrace your real experiences, including challenges and setbacks, as they often carry the most meaningful lessons. Authentic stories convey integrity and allow others to see your humanity, fostering connection and respect. Strategic selection of stories ensures that your narratives remain relevant and impactful. Not every experience needs to be shared. Choose those that align with the context, audience, and message you wish to communicate. Prioritizing stories that illustrate values, skills, or lessons ensures that each introduction contributes meaningfully to your presence and influence. Thoughtful curation of stories demonstrates self-awareness, focus, and intentionality. Storytelling can also be a tool for personal reflection and growth. By recounting your experiences concisely, you deepen your understanding of the choices you made, the lessons learned, and the strengths developed. This reflective practice reinforces your values and enhances self-awareness, allowing you to convey your story with greater confidence and insight. Every retelling becomes an opportunity for growth and mastery, both in communication and personal development. Engagement is strengthened when your story invites listeners to relate or respond. Asking subtle questions or leaving moments for reflection encourages dialogue and interaction. Stories that invite connection transform introductions into conversations rather than monologues. This dynamic fosters trust, rapport, and mutual understanding, making your presence more impactful and your message more memorable. The discipline of concise storytelling develops broader communication skills. It teaches focus, clarity, emotional intelligence, and audience awareness. These skills extend beyond introductions into presentations, professional interactions, and daily conversations. By mastering concise personal stories, you enhance your ability to communicate effectively, lead confidently, and influence positively in all areas of life. The culmination of this practice is a collection of brief, meaningful stories that you can draw upon in any context. Each story reflects your values, your experiences, and your growth. Together, they form a toolkit for connection, persuasion, and influence. With disciplined practice, reflection, and refinement, these stories become second nature, allowing you to convey authenticity, competence, and resilience effortlessly. Ultimately, practicing concise personal stories is about more than just communication. It is a process of self-awareness, reflection, and intentional growth. Each story told is a statement of identity, a demonstration of values, and a tool for connection. Through consistent effort and mindful practice, you develop the ability to engage, inspire, and leave a lasting impression on every listener. Mastery of concise storytelling empowers you to communicate with clarity, authenticity, and impact in every interaction, shaping both your personal and professional life. This practice transforms ordinary introductions into opportunities for meaningful engagement. It builds confidence, strengthens presence, and reinforces the principles of disciplined self-expression. Each concise story delivered thoughtfully communicates not just experiences, but character, intention, and insight. Over time, this skill creates a powerful foundation for personal growth, meaningful relationships, and enduring influence. When your personal stories are concise, purposeful, and authentic, they resonate deeply, leaving a lasting impression on everyone you meet. Mastery of this skill is not accidental, but the result of disciplined reflection, deliberate practice, and a commitment to authenticity. Each story you share becomes a tool for connection, influence, and self-expression, reflecting your values and reinforcing your growth as a person capable of engaging the world with clarity, confidence, and impact. Chapter 4. Polish Everyday Vocabulary. To speak naturally and confidently. Every word you choose to speak shapes the impression you leave and the confidence you project when communicating, and polishing your everyday vocabulary is the most direct path to speaking naturally and convincingly. Language is more than a tool for expression. It is the bridge between your thoughts and the world, and the way you use it can empower you or limit you depending on how intentional and precise you are. Speaking naturally begins with comfort in your words, understanding their meaning fully, and choosing expressions that reflect clarity, confidence, and authenticity. Expanding and refining your vocabulary is not about using complicated words to impress others. It is about equipping yourself with the right words to express ideas accurately, connect deeply with listeners, and convey your thoughts with ease. The first step in refining everyday vocabulary is awareness of the words you currently use. Pay attention to the language that comes naturally in conversation, both in casual settings and professional interactions. Identify words or phrases that are repetitive, unclear, or lack impact. Self-observation is essential because your current vocabulary reflects your habitual patterns of thought and expression. Understanding these patterns allows you to identify gaps where more precise, expressive, or impactful words can replace vague or overused ones. The goal is to achieve clarity and variety without losing authenticity or fluidity. Next, focus on learning words that are practical and applicable to daily life. Prioritize vocabulary that you will actually use, rather than obscure or overly academic terms. Words that describe feelings, actions, opinions, and everyday situations are more valuable than complex, rarely used terminology. For instance, having a range of words to describe emotions allows you to communicate your state of mind more accurately, making your interactions richer and more relatable. Vocabulary is not just about sounding smart, it is about enhancing your ability to connect and express meaningfully. Integration of new vocabulary requires deliberate practice. Reading books, listening to engaging speakers, and observing effective communicators exposes you to diverse words in context. Contextual understanding is critical because it ensures that you grasp the nuances of each word's meaning and how it can be used naturally. Practice using new words in sentences relevant to your life, writing them down, speaking them aloud, and incorporating them into conversations reinforces retention and builds comfort in usage. The process of consistent exposure and application transforms passive knowledge into active vocabulary ready for immediate use. Confidence in speech grows when words become habitual rather than forced. A polished vocabulary is most effective when it flows naturally, without hesitation or self-consciousness. Avoid memorizing words in isolation. Instead, integrate them into your habitual language patterns. Daily exercises, such as narrating your actions aloud, summarizing your day in conversation, or explaining concepts to others, create opportunities to use vocabulary fluidly. This practice strengthens mental pathways, making it effortless to recall and apply the right words in real-time communication. Precision in word choice enhances clarity and reduces misunderstandings. The ability to select the exact word to convey your intended meaning demonstrates competence and authority in conversation. It also prevents over-explanation, filler words, and ambiguity that can undermine confidence. Developing this precision involves considering the subtleties of language, recognizing synonyms with slightly different connotations, and being intentional in your phrasing. Thoughtful word selection allows you to articulate ideas cleanly and persuasively. Listening actively to how others speak is another critical step. Observing effective communicators, whether in person, on podcasts, or in speeches, exposes you to practical vocabulary usage in context. Notice how word choice impacts tone, engagement, and clarity. Pay attention to transitions, idiomatic expressions, and the rhythm of sentences. Active listening strengthens your internal library of words and teaches you the natural flow of language, providing models to emulate in your own speech. Repetition and reinforcement solidify mastery. Using new words consistently in daily conversation ensures that they move from passive recognition to active usage. Practice describing objects, feelings, or experiences in multiple ways to increase flexibility and richness in your vocabulary. Challenge yourself to rephrase sentences differently, replacing common words with more precise or expressive alternatives without losing clarity. This habit of variation keeps your speech dynamic, confident, and engaging, preventing preunitony or over-reliance on a limited set of expressions. Avoid overcomplicating language, as natural speech thrives on simplicity and directness. Polished vocabulary is not about inserting every new word you learn into conversation, but choosing words that fit the context and sound effortless. Overloading sentences with complex terms can create confusion or distance the listener. Focus on balance. Select words that are precise and expressive while remaining approachable and clear. The goal is to sound articulate, not artificial, ensuring your message is received and understood easily. Vocabulary is closely tied to thought patterns, so refining your language also strengthens mental clarity. When you know the right words to describe ideas, feelings, or situations, your thinking becomes more structured and deliberate. Expressing thoughts with precision reduces ambiguity and increases confidence. Speaking naturally stems from thinking clearly, and investing in vocabulary development enhances both mental agility and communication skills simultaneously. Incorporating storytelling into everyday vocabulary practice enhances impact. When you use carefully chosen words to recount experiences or explain ideas, the richness of your language elevates engagement. Even small narratives, shared casually, provide opportunities to exercise descriptive and expressive vocabulary. Each story you tell becomes a training ground for applying polished words naturally, helping you practice in realistic and meaningful contexts rather than abstract exercises. Mindful repetition reinforces vocabulary retention. Rather than passive exposure, actively rehearse sentences and phrases using new words aloud. Speaking them with intention strengthens neural connections, ensuring that they are readily accessible in spontaneous conversation. Repetition, combined with conscious attention to context, rhythm, and tone, accelerates the internalization of words and phrases. This disciplined approach to practice builds confidence, fluidity, and naturalness in speech. Contextual adaptability enhances vocabulary effectiveness. A word may be suitable in one scenario but awkward or confusing in another. Learning the context, connotation, and register of each word ensures that your speech remains appropriate, respectful, and engaging. Consider the formality of the setting, the background of your listeners, and the purpose of your communication. Polished vocabulary adapts to context seamlessly, maintaining natural flow while maximizing clarity and resonance. Writing exercises reinforce verbal skills. Recording thoughts, journaling, or summarizing experiences in writing allows you to experiment with word choice and sentence structure. The written practice complements spoken language, as it provides the opportunity to refine precision, clarity, and variety. Reading your writing aloud bridges the gap between written and spoken expression, building confidence in using polished vocabulary dynamically and naturally. Observing feedback from listeners accelerates mastery. Notice when certain words elicit interest, confusion, or engagement. Adjust your language based on these cues to maximize clarity and impact. Being attentive to listener reactions ensures that your speech remains effective and resonates as intended. Feedback, whether implicit or explicit, provides valuable insight into the effectiveness of your vocabulary and delivery, guiding continuous improvement. Practical exercises like describing objects, summarizing events, or explaining concepts using multiple word choices develop linguistic flexibility. Practicing synonyms, alternative phrases, and descriptive adjectives expands your expressive capacity. Flexibility in vocabulary allows you to tailor speech dynamically, respond fluidly in conversation, and articulate thoughts with precision. This practice enhances both spontaneity and confidence, enabling natural speech across various contexts. Confidence grows when mastery meets consistency. Regular engagement with vocabulary practice, applied in realistic conversations, strengthens comfort and reduces hesitation. When words flow naturally, you convey competence effortlessly. Fluent expression fosters credibility and allows you to focus on content and connection, rather than struggling to find the right terms. Confidence in speech emerges from this combination of preparation, repetition, and mindful application. Refinement of everyday vocabulary also improves listening comprehension. Exposure to diverse words enhances your ability to understand others accurately, respond thoughtfully, and engage meaningfully. As your expressive vocabulary expands, so does your interpretive skill, enabling more dynamic interactions. Enhanced listening reinforces confidence in participation, creating a feedback loop where polished speech and attentive listening complement each other to strengthen overall communication. Polished vocabulary contributes to professional and personal presence. Choosing words intentionally and speaking with clarity signals intelligence, reliability, and confidence. Listeners are more likely to trust, respect, and engage with someone who communicates effectively. Language mastery becomes a tool for influence, relationship building, and leadership, shaping how others perceive you and enhancing opportunities for connection and growth. Ultimately, polishing everyday vocabulary is a lifelong investment in communication, confidence, and personal growth. Consistent practice, reflection, adaptation, and intentional application cultivate a natural, expressive, and confident way of speaking. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to refine your words, strengthen connections, and demonstrate clarity of thought. Mastery of vocabulary empowers you to communicate authentically, persuasively, and fluidly in every interaction, leaving a lasting impression and reinforcing your growth as a confident, articulate, and effective communicator. Speaking naturally and confidently is not a matter of talent, but of disciplined preparation and intentional practice. Each word chosen thoughtfully contributes to credibility, engagement, and clarity. By polishing your everyday vocabulary, you create a foundation for expressive, precise, and authentic communication. This process strengthens not only your speech, but also your thinking, presence, and ability to influence. Mastery emerges from consistent effort, reflection, and the dedication to speak with clarity, confidence, and impact in every conversation. Chapter 5. Build a daily habit of speaking aloud for fluency. Fluency in speaking is built through consistent, deliberate practice, and the most effective way to achieve it is by committing to a daily habit of speaking aloud. Speaking aloud every day transforms passive knowledge into active skill, strengthens mental connections between words and sounds, and trains your mind to express ideas clearly and effortlessly. Fluency is not an accident of talent. It is a result of disciplined action, repetition, and conscious engagement with language. Each session of speaking aloud reinforces confidence, eliminates hesitation, and develops the natural rhythm and flow necessary to communicate effectively. The first step in creating this habit is setting a fixed time every day dedicated solely to speaking. Consistency is critical because regular practice rewires your brain to process language more efficiently. Even 10 to 15 minutes daily, when approached with focus, can produce significant improvement over time. Choose a time when you are alert and free from distractions so that your attention can be fully invested in your practice. This structure transforms your goal from a vague intention into a tangible, actionable routine that becomes part of your lifestyle. Start with simple exercises that involve reading aloud. Reading engages both the mind and the voice, improving pronunciation, intonation, and pacing. Select material that interests you, whether it is a short article, a story, or a passage from a book. Focus on clarity, proper articulation, and natural rhythm. Reading aloud not only improves pronunciation, but also helps internalize sentence structures, word patterns, and vocabulary usage, reinforcing fluency in a practical context. Speaking aloud should extend beyond reading prepared texts to spontaneous speech. Practice summarizing your day, explaining a concept, or describing an event as if you were telling a friend. This encourages quick thinking, coherent structure, and fluid expression. Spontaneous speaking mimics real-life conversations, training your brain to organize thoughts efficiently and speak without overthinking. Over time, this strengthens both your verbal agility and your ability to respond naturally in diverse situations. Recording your speaking sessions accelerates improvement. Listening to yourself allows you to identify areas of strength and spots that need refinement. Pay attention to pronunciation, pace, filler words, and overall clarity. Objective feedback from recordings provides a mirror for self-assessment, revealing patterns that may otherwise go unnoticed. Adjusting based on these observations ensures that each practice session is productive and targeted toward measurable improvement. Incorporate pauses and pacing deliberately. Fluent speech is not about speaking quickly. It is about controlling rhythm and giving words space to resonate. Practice breathing naturally between sentences and using pauses to emphasize key points. This control enhances clarity, prevents stumbling, and conveys confidence. Mindful pacing demonstrates mastery over language and ensures that listeners can follow your ideas comfortably. Engage in dialogue simulations to further strengthen fluency. Imagine conversations you might have in professional or social settings and practice responding naturally. Use questions, statements, and transitions as if interacting with another person. This approach bridges the gap between solitary practice and real-world communication, training your mind to adapt and respond fluidly under pressure. It also builds resilience and reduces anxiety in actual conversational situations. Visualization enhances the effectiveness of daily speaking practice. Picture the person you are speaking to, the context of your conversation, and the reactions you hope to elicit. Visualizing scenarios while speaking aloud increases engagement, authenticity, and focus. This mental rehearsal reinforces confidence, prepares you for diverse interactions, and strengthens the association between thought and verbal expression. Variety in practice materials and topics prevents stagnation. Rotate between reading passages, personal reflections, professional summaries, and storytelling exercises. Diverse content exposes you to different sentence structures, vocabulary, and tones, enriching your language skills. Expanding the range of your practice ensures that fluency is not limited to a narrow set of phrases or contexts, but is adaptable and versatile across all aspects of communication. Integrate vocabulary practice into daily speaking sessions. Choose a few new words or phrases each day and incorporate them naturally into sentences. Repetition in context reinforces retention and builds confidence in usage. Speaking aloud while actively applying new vocabulary transforms abstract learning into practical ability, solidifying both fluency and expressive capacity. Focus on articulation and pronunciation systematically. Clear speech is fundamental to fluency, as indistinct words disrupt comprehension and confidence. Pay attention to problem sounds, stress patterns, and syllable emphasis. Practice difficult words in isolation, then integrate them into sentences. Over time, precision in pronunciation becomes habitual, allowing you to speak naturally and be easily understood. Maintain an awareness of tone and emotion while speaking. Fluent speech is not just accurate words, but also expressive communication. Practice varying your intonation, emphasizing important points, and modulating volume appropriately. Speaking with emotion and emphasis enhances engagement, makes your message memorable, and reinforces natural flow. Daily attention to these elements strengthens both technical skill and expressive presence. Set measurable goals for each practice session. For example, aim to complete a certain number of minutes speaking aloud without hesitation or to use specific new vocabulary correctly. Goals create focus, motivation, and a sense of accomplishment. Tracking progress over time reinforces commitment, highlights improvement, and transforms the habit from a mechanical exercise into a meaningful and rewarding practice. Incorporate reading from different sources to expose yourself to varied sentence structures and vocabulary. Newspapers, essays, audiobooks, and transcripts all offer unique styles and expressions. Reading aloud from these materials enhances adaptability, comprehension, and fluency in multiple contexts. Exposure to diverse language patterns strengthens cognitive processing of English, supporting natural, confident speech in all settings. Engage in shadowing exercises to synchronize listening and speaking skills. Listen to fluent speakers and repeat their words aloud in real time. Focus on pronunciation, pacing, and intonation. Shadowing accelerates auditory recognition, improves rhythm, and creates a more intuitive connection between hearing and speaking. This practice bridges the gap between passive listening and active expression, enhancing overall fluency. Track progress consistently to maintain motivation. Maintain a journal of practice duration, topics covered, and challenges encountered. Reflect on improvements in clarity, speed, and confidence. This habit reinforces accountability, highlights incremental growth, and ensures that daily practice remains purposeful rather than repetitive or aimless. Combine speaking practice with physical awareness. Stand or sit with proper posture. Relax your shoulders and breathe deeply. Body awareness supports vocal projection, clarity, and endurance, allowing longer and more confident speech. Integrating physical elements enhances control and presence, creating a holistic approach to fluency that engages both mind and body. Incorporate peer practice when possible. Speaking with others, even briefly, provides immediate feedback and simulates real-life interaction. Engaging with peers allows you to apply the fluency you develop in solitary practice to authentic social scenarios. Constructive feedback and responsive dialogue accelerate growth, strengthen confidence, and reinforce natural speech patterns. Reflect on challenges and adapt your approach. Notice which words, phrases, or structures cause hesitation and focus on improving them. Modify exercises to address weaknesses without neglecting strengths. Deliberate adaptation ensures continuous progress and prevents plateauing. This iterative process turns daily speaking into a dynamic, evolving practice that steadily enhances fluency. Finally, embrace consistency and patience. Fluency is a gradual process that grows stronger with persistent effort. Each day of speaking aloud builds neural pathways, strengthens confidence, and integrates language skills more deeply. By committing to this disciplined habit, you transform your ability to express ideas clearly, naturally, and convincingly. Over time, daily speaking aloud becomes second nature, creating effortless communication, strengthened presence, and a mastery of fluency that empowers every conversation. The habit of speaking aloud daily is not merely a language exercise. It is a transformative practice that cultivates confidence, precision, and expressive ability. Through focused repetition, deliberate practice, and mindful reflection, every session contributes to stronger articulation, richer vocabulary, and a more natural, persuasive style of communication. By committing to this process, fluency becomes a reliable skill rather than a chance occurrence, enhancing every interaction and reinforcing personal growth in every facet of life. Chapter 6. Use simple grammar patterns to reduce speaking hesitation. Speaking with confidence and clarity begins with mastering simple grammar patterns that allow your thoughts to flow smoothly without hesitation. Complexity in sentence structure often leads to overthinking, pauses, and self-doubt, which interrupts communication and diminishes the impact of your words. Using straightforward grammatical constructions provides a stable foundation for expression, enabling ideas to emerge naturally and confidently. Simple grammar does not mean simplistic thinking. It means equipping yourself with reliable tools to communicate effectively while reducing mental friction and unnecessary anxiety during speech. The first step is understanding which grammar patterns are most versatile in everyday conversation. Basic structures like subject, verb, object, present simple, past simple, and future simple are sufficient to convey almost any idea clearly. Mastery of these patterns allows you to form complete, accurate sentences without hesitation. Repetition and practice with these structures build automaticity, so your brain can focus on the message rather than on worrying about complex forms. This creates a smooth, confident speaking rhythm. Start by practicing common sentence patterns aloud. For instance, use I am to describe yourself, I like to express preferences, and I want to communicate intentions. These patterns are highly functional and can form the basis of more complex ideas when needed. Repeatedly forming sentences using these simple structures strengthens your mental pathways and increases comfort in spontaneous conversation. Confidence grows as you realize that even the simplest constructions can effectively communicate your thoughts. Incorporate everyday situations into your practice. Describe what you are doing, your surroundings, or your plans using simple grammar. For example, saying I am reading a book or I will meet my friend tomorrow helps integrate grammar into real-life context. Contextual practice reinforces retention, allowing you to use correct structures naturally when engaging with others. This approach reduces hesitation because your mind becomes accustomed to forming sentences automatically in familiar contexts. Link sentences with basic connectors to maintain flow without creating complexity. Words like and, but, so, and because allow you to connect ideas logically while keeping sentences simple. Using these connectors enhances clarity and coherence in speech, reducing awkward pauses. Mastering the use of these small but powerful words ensures your sentences remain smooth, relatable, and easy to follow, which minimizes hesitation and supports confidence. Practice speaking in short, complete sentences rather than attempting long, complicated statements. Breaking your thoughts into manageable chunks reduces the cognitive load and allows your ideas to emerge clearly. Short sentences also provide opportunities to pause naturally, organize your thoughts, and maintain control over pacing. This method strengthens clarity, fluency, and self-assurance in conversation. Daily repetition reinforces grammar mastery. Spend a few minutes every day forming sentences using simple patterns, speaking them aloud, and experimenting with slight variations. For example, change subjects, verbs, or objects to practice flexibility within a familiar structure. Consistent repetition builds automaticity, so sentence formation becomes almost instinctive, reducing hesitation and allowing your mind to focus on meaning rather than mechanics. Observe and correct common mistakes proactively. Pay attention to tense consistency, subject-verb agreement, and word order. Identifying and addressing errors during practice prevents them from becoming habits that undermine fluency. Gradually, accurate usage becomes second nature, and speaking with proper grammar enhances credibility and clarity, which in turn boosts confidence in every interaction. Use question structures regularly in practice. Asking and answering questions reinforces sentence patterns and promotes interactive thinking. Phrases like "What do you like?" or "Where are you going?" provide frameworks for response and engagement. Practicing questions prepares you for dynamic conversation, reducing the likelihood of hesitation when responding to others spontaneously. Integrate simple grammar patterns into storytelling exercises. Narrate personal experiences, daily routines, or plans for the future using consistent structures. Storytelling with basic grammar helps maintain clarity while conveying meaning. Over time, this practice strengthens fluency, enabling natural expression without the need to overthink complex forms. Simple grammar supports richer communication by creating a reliable framework that can be expanded gradually. Practice mental rehearsal before speaking. Visualize the sentences you plan to use and run them through in your mind using simple patterns. This preparation reduces cognitive load and prevents hesitation when speaking aloud. Mentally rehearsed grammar becomes easier to retrieve under pressure, creating a smoother and more confident delivery. Combine grammar practice with vocabulary development. Use familiar words with simple sentence structures to express new ideas. Gradually incorporating new words into basic patterns ensures that fluency is not disrupted. This method allows you to expand your expressive range without sacrificing clarity or confidence. Vocabulary becomes functional, and grammar serves as a reliable scaffold for communication. Role-play common scenarios to strengthen application. Practice introducing yourself, describing experiences, explaining tasks, or asking for information using simple grammar patterns. Role-playing simulates real-life situations, helping you internalize structures and respond spontaneously. Regular engagement with practical scenarios ensures that grammar mastery translates directly into fluent, confident conversation. Record your practice sessions to assess clarity, pacing, and correctness. Listening to yourself highlights areas of hesitation, misused structures, or awkward phrasing. Objective evaluation provides actionable feedback, enabling targeted improvement. Recording also tracks progress, motivating you as you notice growing confidence and fluidity over time. Focus on rhythm and natural stress patterns in sentences. Even with simple grammar, fluent speech requires attention to cadence, intonation, and emphasis. Reading sentences aloud while emphasizing key words and pausing appropriately enhances the natural flow. Mastery of rhythm reduces hesitation because sentences feel organic rather than constructed, improving both clarity and engagement. Break down complex ideas into sequential, simple sentences. Avoid attempting to express multiple points in one complicated sentence. Sequential sentences maintain meaning while reducing cognitive pressure. Each simple sentence communicates a single idea clearly, allowing listeners to follow effortlessly. This approach also prevents mental blocks that cause hesitation and fosters precise, articulate expression. Practice replacing filler words with brief, grammatically correct sentences. Words like or are indicate hesitation and disrupt fluency. Instead, pause briefly and formulate a simple sentence to convey the idea. Over time, this habit replaces uncertainty with confidence, creating smoother, uninterrupted speech. Focus on clarity over sophistication. Simple grammar may not sound elaborate, but it communicates ideas directly and effectively. Confidence grows when listeners understand your message effortlessly. Prioritizing comprehension over complexity ensures that your speech is impactful and accessible, reducing anxiety and hesitation in all interactions. Engage in conversational practice with peers or mentors, using simple structures. Real-time dialogue strengthens automaticity and adaptation. Simple grammar supports dynamic responses, allowing you to focus on meaning rather than form. Frequent practice in authentic contexts solidifies fluency and fosters natural, confident communication. Reflect on your progress regularly. Observe reduced hesitation, smoother transitions, and improved sentence formation. Acknowledge growth and identify patterns for continued improvement. This reflection reinforces motivation, discipline, and commitment to ongoing mastery of simple grammar for confident speaking. Using simple grammar patterns consistently creates a foundation for effortless communication. The habit strengthens clarity, reduces mental load, and enhances confidence in spontaneous speech. With daily practice, repetition, and mindful application, simple grammar evolves from a conscious strategy into an automatic tool, enabling fluent, natural, and persuasive expression in every interaction. Mastery of this approach empowers you to speak with certainty, focus, and ease, turning hesitation into confidence and transforming language into a vehicle for connection and influence. Chapter 7. Show authentic emotion to make your introduction engaging. Authentic emotion is the invisible force that transforms a simple self-introduction into a memorable and engaging connection with your audience. When you speak with genuine feeling, listeners sense your sincerity and your words carry weight beyond the literal meaning. People respond not only to the content of what you say, but also to the energy, passion, and honesty behind it. Showing authentic emotion is not about exaggeration or performance. It is about aligning your voice, expression, and body language with the truth of your experience and the intent of your message. The first step in conveying genuine emotion is understanding your own feelings. Reflect on what you want your audience to experience when you introduce yourself. Are you expressing excitement about a new opportunity, pride in your accomplishments, or curiosity in meeting others? Knowing your emotional purpose allows you to communicate with clarity and intention. Authenticity begins with self-awareness, as it is impossible to convey emotion convincingly if you are disconnected from it yourself. Start by practicing the expression of emotion in small, controlled ways. Speak about simple topics that naturally evoke feelings, such as describing a meaningful hobby, a proud achievement, or a memorable challenge you overcame. Notice the sensations in your body as you recount these experiences, your heart rate, breathing, and posture. Translating these internal cues into your voice and gestures makes your speech feel alive and compelling. Emotion expressed physically reinforces verbal content, creating a holistic and engaging presentation. Use tone and inflection deliberately to match the emotion you want to convey. Monotone delivery, no matter how accurate the words, fails to engage listeners. Variations in pitch, emphasis, and volume capture attention and communicate feeling. For example, excitement can be conveyed through a slightly faster pace and rising intonation, while sincerity may be expressed through a slower, more deliberate rhythm. Vocal modulation signals authenticity, making your introduction memorable and emotionally resonant. Body language amplifies the impact of emotional expression. Open gestures, relaxed posture, and intentional movements complement the words you speak. Facial expressions in particular serve as immediate cues for your audience, signaling enthusiasm, sincerity, or curiosity. When your body supports your verbal message, the introduction becomes more convincing and captivating. Practicing gestures alongside speech ensures that emotion is conveyed naturally rather than forced. Storytelling is a powerful method for incorporating authentic emotion. Even brief personal anecdotes, when delivered with genuine feeling, create empathy and connection. Describe what you experienced, how it made you feel, and what you learned. Highlight moments of vulnerability, challenge, or triumph, as these are universally relatable and resonate deeply with listeners. A story grounded in truth and emotion makes your introduction not just informative, but compelling and memorable. Focus on the present moment while speaking. Authentic emotion cannot be manufactured or projected effectively if your mind is elsewhere. Fully engage with the words you are saying, the feelings they evoke, and the reaction of your audience. Mindful presence allows your natural emotion to shine through and prevents hesitation or artificiality. Awareness of your own energy and attention creates a contagious emotional impact that draws listeners in. Balance emotion with clarity. Feeling deeply does not mean sacrificing precision or coherence in speech. Structure your sentences simply, but let the emotion infuse the words, emphasizing key points naturally. Authentic expression is most effective when it is clear and understandable, allowing the listener to follow both the message and the feeling behind it. Emotional clarity reinforces credibility and strengthens the connection you build with your audience. Practice emotional mirroring to enhance engagement. Observe the reactions of others during introductions and adjust your tone, pacing, and expression accordingly. Responding authentically to the energy in the room demonstrates empathy and social awareness, increasing the impact of your presence. Mirroring is not imitation, but a form of dynamic adjustment that strengthens emotional resonance and mutual connection. Breathing techniques support authentic expression. Controlled, deep breaths steady the voice and create space for emotion to flow naturally. Shallow or rapid breathing can make speech sound anxious or disconnected, reducing the perceived sincerity of your introduction. By managing breath, you maintain composure, project confidence, and allow emotion to emerge smoothly and authentically. Authentic emotion also relies on honesty and integrity in what you communicate. Avoid exaggeration or embellishment for dramatic effect, as it undermines credibility and trust. Share experiences and feelings that are true to your life and perspective. Vulnerability and authenticity create connection because they demonstrate courage and openness, qualities that naturally draw people to you. Practice delivering your introduction to small audiences or in front of a mirror to refine emotional expression. Notice how different phrasing, emphasis, or facial expressions affect the overall impact. Record yourself and review how effectively emotion is communicated. Self-assessment helps you identify patterns, strengths, and areas for improvement, ensuring that emotion feels natural rather than staged. Emotion in introductions also benefits from pacing and timing. Allow pauses for emphasis and reflection, giving listeners a chance to absorb the feeling behind your words. Rushing diminishes emotional impact, while intentional pacing makes the delivery more powerful and engaging. Pauses are not empty gaps, but opportunities to reinforce sincerity and presence. Engage multiple senses to deepen emotional expression. Consider imagery, descriptive language, and sensory details that evoke feelings in your audience. By appealing to what listeners can visualize, hear, or relate to, you make your introduction immersive and memorable. Multisensory engagement strengthens emotional connection and makes your message more compelling. Consistency is key to authenticity. Align your words, tone, body language, and facial expressions throughout your introduction. Mixed signals create doubt or confusion, reducing impact. When all aspects of your presentation reinforce one another, your emotion is clear, credible, and powerful. Cohesion communicates confidence and integrity, strengthening your presence in every interaction. Adapt emotion to context without losing authenticity. A professional introduction may call for composed enthusiasm, while a social setting might allow more warmth and energy. Understanding the situation and adjusting intensity ensures your message resonates appropriately. Emotional adaptability demonstrates awareness, intelligence, and social skill, increasing the effectiveness of your introduction. Reflect on the emotional impact of your introductions. Consider how your audience responds, which elements engage them, and what feelings are evoked. Use these observations to refine delivery, emphasizing approaches that generate genuine connection. Continuous reflection ensures that your emotional expression evolves and remains authentic and engaging over time. Combine authentic emotion with confident content. Knowledge of what you want to communicate reduces anxiety and supports genuine expression. When your message is clear and your feelings are aligned, delivery becomes effortless, compelling, and persuasive. Emotion strengthens engagement, while clarity ensures that the audience comprehends and retains your message. Regular practice in front of supportive audiences builds both confidence and authenticity. The more comfortable you are with expressing genuine emotion, the more natural it becomes in any setting. Gradual exposure to diverse listeners teaches adaptability, resilience, and skillful management of energy, enhancing your overall communicative presence. Showing authentic emotion transforms introductions from routine statements into experiences that resonate with others. It fosters connection, builds trust, and leaves a lasting impression. Through mindful reflection, deliberate practice, and honest engagement, emotion becomes a natural component of your communication. Mastery of this skill elevates your introductions, making every encounter meaningful, memorable, and deeply engaging. Authentic emotion is a discipline that combines self-awareness, clarity, presence, and courage. Each time you introduce yourself with genuine feeling, you strengthen connections, communicate more effectively, and convey a sense of integrity that resonates. Consistent practice, mindful observation, and honest expression cultivate the ability to engage others powerfully and naturally. This skill not only enhances your introductions, but also enriches every interaction, empowering you to communicate with authenticity, confidence, and impact in every area of life. Chapter 8. Start with your purpose, then state clear goals. Every powerful introduction begins with a clear purpose and a set of well-defined goals, because clarity creates confidence and commands attention from the very first word. When you communicate your purpose up front, you immediately give your audience a reason to listen and engage, and this focus provides structure for your entire introduction. Understanding your purpose requires reflection on what you truly want to convey, what matters to you, and what impression you hope to leave. Purpose is the foundation, and clear goals are the framework that allows your message to be precise, compelling, and memorable. Begin by identifying your core reason for introducing yourself. Ask yourself what drives you, what you are passionate about, and what you aim to achieve in this interaction. This reflection transforms an ordinary statement into a deliberate act of communication that conveys meaning, intention, and authenticity. Purpose clarifies priorities, reduces unnecessary information, and ensures that every sentence you speak aligns with your desired outcome. Knowing your purpose prevents wandering thoughts, hesitation, or unclear messages, which often diminish confidence. Once your purpose is defined, translate it into concise statements that can be expressed naturally. For instance, if your goal is to network professionally, your introduction should highlight your role, expertise, and what you hope to contribute. If you are meeting new peers, your purpose might emphasize collaboration, curiosity, or mutual learning. Crafting a simple, clear statement ensures that your audience immediately understands who you are and why your introduction matters. Setting clear goals strengthens the impact of your introduction. Goals act as guideposts that shape your content, tone, and delivery. Ask yourself what outcome you desire from this introduction. Do you want to spark a conversation, leave a memorable impression, or inspire trust? Define 1 or 2 specific objectives and incorporate them into your speech. Goals provide direction, reduce ambiguity, and make your words purposeful rather than random or filler-laden. Structure your introduction in a way that naturally flows from purpose to goals. Begin with a brief declaration of your purpose that communicates why you are speaking. Follow with clear, actionable goals that indicate your intentions or next steps. This sequence demonstrates organization, confidence, and foresight, signaling to your audience that you are focused, intentional, and reliable. A logical flow reinforces credibility and enhances engagement. Practice articulating your purpose aloud in different ways until it feels natural and authentic. Speak slowly and deliberately, emphasizing key points that matter most. Adjust your tone to reflect sincerity and conviction, ensuring that listeners feel the energy behind your words. Practicing out loud strengthens both clarity and confidence, enabling you to communicate with conviction without hesitation. Break down goals into concise, relatable statements. Avoid long, complex sentences that may confuse or bore your audience. Simple, clear expressions communicate ambition, direction, and competence. For example, rather than listing multiple objectives vaguely, state a focused goal, such as "I aim to learn from this group and contribute my experience effectively." This precision leaves a lasting impression while keeping the introduction digestible and engaging. Connect your purpose and goals to the audience's interests when possible. Framing your objectives in a way that aligns with the listener's needs, expectations, or values increases engagement and relevance. Demonstrating awareness of your audience while maintaining your own purpose shows intelligence, empathy, and strategic thinking. Clear alignment strengthens your introduction and creates immediate rapport. Incorporate short examples or anecdotes that reinforce your purpose. Real-life experiences or achievements provide concrete evidence that supports your goals, making them more credible and relatable. Storytelling in this context is concise and focused, highlighting specific actions or results that illustrate why your purpose matters. This approach transforms abstract statements into tangible, memorable expressions of intent. Mind your tone, posture, and pacing as you present purpose and goals. Confidence is amplified when verbal and non-verbal cues align. Speak with calm authority, maintain open and relaxed posture, and use deliberate pacing to emphasize important points. Your body language and delivery reinforce the clarity and seriousness of your purpose, ensuring that your message resonates with authenticity and strength. Anticipate questions or follow-ups related to your goals. Being prepared to expand or clarify reinforces credibility and demonstrates foresight. Anticipation of audience needs signals confidence, careful planning, and competence. This preparation reduces anxiety and allows you to speak fluidly, further reinforcing the strength of your introduction. Repetition and reinforcement are key to internalizing purpose-driven introductions. Practice presenting your purpose and goals daily until the flow is automatic. Record yourself or rehearse in front of peers to gain feedback and refine your delivery. Regular practice builds fluency, reduces hesitation, and ensures that every introduction is delivered with clarity and conviction. Keep goals realistic and achievable in the context of your introduction. Overambitious or vague statements can undermine credibility. Focus on specific, actionable objectives that can be clearly understood and easily remembered. Clear, attainable goals create confidence for both you and your audience, increasing trust and engagement. Use positive, assertive language to express purpose and goals. Words such as I aim, I focus, and I contribute communicate determination and initiative. Avoid uncertainty or passive phrasing, which may convey hesitation or lack of direction. Confident language enhances the perception of authority, competence, and clarity, making your introduction more impactful. Integrate reflection on your values to strengthen authenticity. When purpose and goals align with your principles, your introduction resonates more deeply with listeners. Sharing values subtly within the introduction communicates integrity, vision, and sincerity, creating connection and respect. Authenticity makes your statements memorable and ensures that your presence is not only noticed but respected. Balance brevity with depth. Purpose and goals should be concise enough to maintain attention, but detailed enough to convey significance. Avoid overwhelming your audience with too much information, but ensure the content communicates intent, ambition, and clarity. Concise, meaningful statements demonstrate thoughtfulness, focus, and self-discipline. Adjust language and examples to match the context and audience. The way you express purpose and goals in a professional meeting may differ from a casual social interaction. Tailoring content ensures relevance, appropriateness, and maximum engagement. Adaptation shows awareness and enhances the credibility of your message without compromising authenticity. Track and refine your performance over time. After each introduction, reflect on what worked, what captured attention, and what could be improved. Continuous refinement ensures that your ability to communicate purpose and goals evolves, becoming more precise, impactful, and confident with each interaction. Feedback loops enhance both skill and self-assurance. Integrate purpose and goals seamlessly into your natural speaking style. Avoid sounding rehearsed or mechanical by internalizing your message and expressing it with conviction. Natural delivery communicates authenticity, reduces anxiety, and strengthens engagement. Fluency arises from internalization and consistent practice. Every introduction that begins with purpose and clear goals is inherently more compelling, engaging, and memorable. This approach demonstrates direction, intention, and confidence while creating a framework for meaningful connection with your audience. Regular practice, deliberate refinement, and alignment with personal values ensure that every introduction communicates not only who you are, but also what you aim to achieve. Mastery of this approach transforms routine introductions into opportunities for influence, credibility, and lasting impact. By starting with purpose and articulating goals clearly, you take control of the narrative, guide audience perception, and project competence from the very first moment. This method fosters respect, clarity, and engagement, empowering you to communicate with intentionality, confidence, and authority. Consistency in applying these principles creates a reliable and impactful presence that resonates across professional, social, and all interactions, leaving an impression of clarity, focus, and strength. Chapter 9. Practice voice control and pacing to command attention. Commanding attention begins with mastering your voice and controlling the pace at which you speak, because the way you deliver words often matters more than the words themselves. Your voice is an instrument that conveys authority, confidence, and emotion, while pacing determines whether your message is engaging or easily lost. Speaking too quickly can overwhelm listeners and create misunderstanding, while speaking too slowly can disengage them and reduce impact. Mastering voice control and pacing transforms ordinary speech into captivating communication that holds focus and leaves a lasting impression. Start by developing awareness of your natural vocal habits. Notice pitch, tone, volume, and rhythm when you speak. Record yourself reading aloud or delivering a short introduction and listen critically. Identify moments where your voice falters, where energy drops, or where words are rushed. Awareness is the first step, because you cannot adjust what you do not notice. Observing your patterns provides a baseline from which deliberate improvement can begin. Practice varying pitch to emphasize key points. A monotone voice flattens communication, making even important ideas feel unremarkable. Experiment with rising and falling intonation to highlight meaning, convey emotion, and create interest. Pitch variation signals confidence and mastery, making your audience more attentive to your message. Subtle shifts in tone demonstrate engagement and sincerity, reinforcing the impact of every word. Volume control is equally important. Speaking too softly can make you seem uncertain, while shouting conveys aggression or anxiety. Aim for a steady, controlled volume that is easily heard without strain. Adjust according to the environment and the size of your audience, maintaining clarity and authority. Volume control enhances presence and ensures that your words reach listeners with maximum effect. Breathing techniques are the foundation of voice control. Proper breath support allows you to sustain sentences, modulate tone, and maintain clarity without strain. Practice diaphragmatic breathing to increase vocal power and stability. Inhale deeply and exhale steadily while speaking, maintaining a natural rhythm. Controlled breathing reduces tension, minimizes nervousness, and enables consistent vocal delivery even under pressure. Pacing shapes the perception of your message. Rapid speech creates tension and can confuse your audience, while overly slow delivery risks boredom. Practice finding a rhythm that feels natural yet deliberate. Incorporate pauses strategically to emphasize key points, give listeners time to absorb information, and create anticipation. Pausing demonstrates confidence and mastery, allowing your words to land with impact. Articulation is critical for clarity and engagement. Pronounce words fully, enunciate consonants, and open vowels properly. Clear articulation ensures that your audience understands your message effortlessly and perceives you as competent and professional. Practice tongue twisters, reading aloud or speaking deliberately to strengthen precision in pronunciation. Well-articulated speech projects authority and builds credibility. Use stress and emphasis to highlight critical ideas. Not all words carry equal importance, and your voice should reflect this. Place emphasis on nouns, verbs, or phrases that convey your message most powerfully. Effective stress guides listeners through your speech, helping them retain essential points and reinforcing the natural rhythm of your delivery. This technique makes your communication memorable and persuasive. Experiment with speed variations to maintain engagement. Alternating between slightly faster and slower segments prevents monotony and adds dynamic interest. Faster sections can convey excitement or urgency, while slower segments highlight significance and allow reflection. Controlled variation in pacing captures attention and maintains energy, keeping listeners invested throughout your introduction or speech. Record and review practice sessions regularly. Listening to yourself objectively allows you to notice inconsistencies in tone, volume, and pacing. Identify areas where words are rushed, phrases lack emphasis, or breath support falters. Feedback from recordings is invaluable because it provides concrete evidence of what needs adjustment, accelerating improvement in voice control and pacing. Integrate emotion into your vocal delivery. Authentic feelings are amplified by pitch, volume, and pacing. Excitement, sincerity, and confidence become palpable when your voice matches your emotional intent. Practicing emotional expression while maintaining control ensures that passion does not overwhelm clarity, but instead enhances engagement and impact. Mirror the speaking styles of skilled communicators for guidance. Observe speakers who command attention and analyze how they use tone, volume, and pacing. Emulate aspects of their delivery while maintaining your authentic voice. Learning from others accelerates mastery and provides practical examples of how vocal techniques can captivate an audience. Practice reading aloud from diverse materials to build vocal flexibility. Use speeches, essays, or dialogues to explore different sentence structures, emotional tones, and pacing requirements. Reading aloud strengthens breath control, articulation, and modulation while exposing you to various rhythms and cadences. This varied practice enhances adaptability and fluency in real-life introductions and conversations. Develop consistent pre-speaking routines to optimize voice quality. Warm up your vocal cords with simple humming or gentle stretching exercises. Hydrate adequately and relax tension in the jaw, neck, and shoulders. These physical preparations support vocal strength, clarity, and endurance, ensuring that your delivery is consistent and confident from the first word to the last. Practice speaking in front of mirrors or recording devices to observe facial expressions and gestures. Voice and body language work together to command attention. Synchronizing vocal delivery with confident posture, gestures, and facial engagement enhances presence and reinforces your message. This holistic approach ensures that pacing and tone feel natural and compelling. Experiment with controlled silence as a tool. Pausing strategically after an important point adds weight and allows the audience to process information. Silence can heighten anticipation and emphasize significance, making your voice more powerful and commanding. Learning to use silence effectively demonstrates confidence and control over your communication. Engage in dialogue simulations to refine voice control under interactive conditions. Responding to questions or participating in conversations requires adaptability in tone, volume, and pacing. Practicing in simulated discussions ensures that your control and rhythm carry over to real-world interactions, strengthening overall communication skills and presence. Seek feedback from others to identify blind spots in delivery. Observers can provide insights into areas where tone may falter, pacing may lag, or clarity diminishes. Constructive critique informs adjustments that lead to smoother, more commanding speech. Continuous feedback ensures progressive refinement and mastery of vocal skills. Integrate daily vocal exercises into your routine. Simple routines such as reading aloud, reciting short speeches, or practicing varying pitch and emphasis improve strength, flexibility, and endurance. Consistent practice maintains vocal health, sharpens control, and reinforces habits that contribute to confident, commanding delivery over time. Understand the impact of energy on voice and pacing. Higher energy levels naturally enhance projection, modulation, and engagement. Cultivate a mindset of confidence and presence before speaking, as your internal state directly influences vocal output. Energy alignment ensures that your voice captures attention and communicates authority effortlessly. Mastering voice control and pacing transforms your introductions from ordinary statements into compelling performances that command attention. Through deliberate practice, observation, and reflection, you develop the ability to speak clearly, confidently, and dynamically. Voice, rhythm, and strategic pauses become tools to engage, persuade, and leave a lasting impression. Consistency and mindful effort empower you to communicate with authority, presence, and influence in every interaction. Chapter 10. Develop confident body language to support your words. Confident body language transforms your words from ordinary statements into a compelling presence that captures attention and inspires trust immediately. Every gesture, posture, and movement you make communicates silently, often more powerfully than your voice. When your body aligns with your message, it reinforces credibility, commands respect, and ensures that your audience feels your authenticity. Confidence in posture and movement signals authority and self-assurance, allowing your introduction or conversation to resonate far beyond the words themselves. Begin by examining your posture. Standing or sitting with a straight, upright spine communicates stability and confidence. Avoid slouching or crossing arms defensively, as these behaviors signal uncertainty or discomfort. Shoulders should be relaxed but back, and your head held high to project presence without appearing rigid. The way you carry your body sets the tone for how others perceive you before a single word is spoken. Use open gestures to complement your speech. Avoid closed-off movements like tightly crossed arms or clenched fists, which can create distance between you and your audience. Open hands, gentle arm movements, and purposeful gestures indicate engagement and approachability. Gestures should support the rhythm and meaning of your words, emphasizing key points while appearing natural and unforced. Eye contact is a cornerstone of confident body language. Direct, steady eye contact communicates focus, sincerity, and connection. Avoiding the eyes or darting gaze conveys uncertainty or distraction. Maintain eye contact long enough to establish trust, but balance it to prevent discomfort. Scanning naturally across an audience or shifting gaze during conversation ensures inclusivity and attentiveness. Facial expressions are equally important in conveying confidence. A relaxed, approachable face communicates assurance and openness. Smiles, when appropriate, establish warmth and rapport, while serious expressions underscore sincerity or focus. Aligning facial cues with verbal messages enhances credibility and ensures that your communication resonates authentically with others. Breathing and movement are interrelated. Controlled, steady breathing maintains composure, prevents tension, and allows for deliberate gestures. Shallow or hurried breathing often accompanies nervous or closed body language, reducing the effectiveness of communication. Practicing calm, rhythmic breaths supports natural movements and a grounded presence, allowing confidence to radiate effortlessly. Foot positioning and stance influence perceived stability. Standing with feet shoulder-width apart creates balance and readiness, whereas uneven or shifting weight can signal uncertainty. Subtle movements like leaning slightly forward when engaged or stepping purposefully indicate attentiveness and involvement. Your lower body anchors your presence and reinforces the authority projected by upper body language. Integrate deliberate gestures with emphasis on key points. Pointing, open-handed motions, and controlled movements draw attention to what you are saying. Avoid fidgeting or repetitive, nervous gestures that distract listeners from your message. Purposeful movement enhances clarity and reinforces the weight of your words, ensuring that your audience is both engaged and focused. Practice mirroring subtle body language cues during conversations to build rapport. Aligning gestures, posture, and tone with those of others demonstrates empathy, attentiveness, and adaptability. Mirroring strengthens connection and subtly communicates that you understand and respect the perspective of your audience, reinforcing your credibility and presence. Maintain spatial awareness to communicate confidence without aggression. Respecting personal space while positioning yourself strategically conveys assurance and professionalism. Avoid encroaching or retreating unnecessarily, as this can undermine authority or create discomfort. Spatial control signals comfort, awareness, and command of the environment. Use micro-expressions intentionally to convey sincerity. Small, genuine expressions of emotion enhance trust and engagement. Subtle cues like a nod, raised eyebrows, or a brief smile communicate attentiveness and authenticity without overwhelming the overall presence. These micro-expressions act as silent reinforcements of your verbal message, deepening impact. Hands should support speech without distracting from it. Avoid hiding hands in pockets or clasping them tensely, which can signal nervousness. Practice natural hand placements and controlled movements that emphasize points and add rhythm to delivery. Hand positioning is a subtle but powerful indicator of self-assurance and openness. Engage in posture exercises to strengthen your core stability and alignment. A strong, balanced body improves confidence in movement and reduces tension during interactions. Simple daily routines, like standing against a wall, stretching, or mindful alignment drills, enhance awareness of posture and reinforce confident presentation. Physical conditioning directly affects the ease and authority of your presence. Vary gestures and movements with intentionality. Overly repetitive or rigid motions can distract, while dynamic, purposeful movements maintain interest and convey energy. Timing gestures to coincide with key points in speech enhances clarity and impact, ensuring that body language and words work harmoniously. Controlled variation keeps your presence lively without compromising composure. Facilitate connection with subtle leaning and orientation. Slightly leaning toward your audience or interlocutor demonstrates engagement and attentiveness. Facing your audience fully signals openness, while turning away can indicate disinterest or discomfort. Intentional orientation strengthens connection, authority, and perceived confidence. Develop awareness of tension points in your body. Tight shoulders, clenched jaw, or stiff limbs can undermine confidence and make gestures appear forced. Practice relaxation techniques and mindful awareness to release unnecessary tension. A relaxed, fluid body supports natural movement, vocal projection, and sustained presence, allowing authenticity to shine through. Practice integrating facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye contact in simulated introductions. Observing and adjusting each element ensures that your body language is cohesive and compelling. Deliberate rehearsal enables alignment between verbal and nonverbal communication, strengthening impact and credibility. Observe confident communicators and analyze their body language. Note how posture, gestures, and facial expressions complement speech. Adapt strategies that resonate with your style while maintaining authenticity. Learning from others accelerates skill acquisition and provides concrete examples of effective body language in action. Micro-adjustments in stance or gesture during speaking help maintain energy and engagement. Subtle shifts in weight, open-handed motions, or movement across a space keep the audience attentive while reinforcing presence. Mindful control of micro-movements prevents monotony and enhances the perception of confidence. Confidence in body language grows with consistent practice and self-awareness, Each interaction offers an opportunity to refine gestures, posture, and expressions, building a natural, commanding presence. Over time, these habits become instinctive, allowing your body to support your words seamlessly, making introductions more engaging, persuasive, and impactful. Developing confident body language elevates your ability to communicate with authority, authenticity, and presence. When words are reinforced by posture, gestures, facial expressions, and spatial awareness, your message resonates deeply, leaving a lasting impression. Mastery of these elements ensures that your audience perceives not only what you say, but also the strength, conviction, and credibility behind it. Consistent attention to body language empowers every introduction, every conversation, and every opportunity to communicate with influence and confidence. Chapter 11: Refine pronunciation daily to increase listener understanding. Clear pronunciation is the bridge between your ideas and your audience's understanding, because even the most powerful message loses impact if words are mispronounced or unclear. Every sound you articulate shapes perception, conveys confidence, and ensures that listeners grasp your meaning effortlessly. Refining pronunciation is not about perfection or accent elimination. It is about clarity, precision, and consistency, so your message lands exactly as intended. Daily practice strengthens muscle memory, sharpens auditory awareness, and develops a speaking style that is both natural and authoritative. Begin by becoming acutely aware of your current pronunciation patterns. Record yourself speaking, read aloud passages, or deliver your self-introduction, and listen carefully to how each word sounds. Identify words or sounds that consistently cause difficulty, hesitation, or misunderstanding. Awareness is the foundation of improvement, because you cannot refine what you do not first notice. Focus on vowel and consonant clarity. Many pronunciation challenges arise from slurring vowels or neglecting consonants at the ends of words. Practice articulating each sound deliberately, exaggerating initially, if necessary, to train your mouth and tongue to form the correct shapes. Over time, precise articulation becomes natural, enhancing both clarity and confidence. Break down complex words into syllables and practice them slowly. Stress the correct syllable and ensure each component is pronounced fully before returning to normal pace. This method reduces errors, prevents miscommunication, and reinforces correct patterns. Gradual acceleration from slow, careful speech to natural tempo ensures consistency without sacrificing clarity. Integrate phonetic exercises into daily practice. Use dictionaries with phonetic transcription, language apps, or online pronunciation tools to hear and mimic correct sounds. Repetition strengthens auditory recognition and muscle coordination, making accurate pronunciation instinctive. Daily exposure to correct pronunciation reinforces learning and builds reliability in communication. Listen actively to native or skilled speakers. Observe how they articulate vowels, consonants, and intonation patterns. Pay attention to rhythm, stress, and pacing, as these elements influence comprehensibility. Imitation of accurate speech patterns develops both ear training and speech production skills, accelerating improvement in listener understanding. Practice reading aloud every day with intention. Choose materials such as news articles, short essays, or dialogues that challenge your pronunciation. Focus on clarity, stressing syllables accurately, and enunciating consonants fully. Daily reading not only reinforces proper pronunciation, but also builds fluency, confidence, and rhythm in speech. Use tongue twisters strategically to strengthen precision and agility in articulation. Repeating sequences of challenging sounds exercises your mouth, lips, and tongue, improving overall control. Start slowly to ensure accuracy, then gradually increase speed while maintaining clarity. Tongue twisters are a practical, engaging way to refine pronunciation daily. Record and review your practice sessions. Listening to yourself objectively allows you to detect subtle mispronunciations, hesitation, or patterns that need correction. Compare your recordings to skilled speakers to evaluate progress. Consistent feedback through self-assessment is essential for sustained improvement and mastery of pronunciation. Focus on word stress and sentence stress, not just individual sounds. English relies heavily on stress patterns to convey meaning. Misplaced stress can confuse listeners even if every sound is technically correct. Practice emphasizing the correct syllables in words and keywords in sentences to improve intelligibility and listener comprehension. Integrate mouth and tongue exercises into your routine. Simple routines like opening and closing the mouth, rolling the tongue, or practicing lip flexibility enhance articulation precision. Strong, flexible oral muscles contribute to consistent pronunciation and reduce fatigue during prolonged speaking. Physical conditioning of speech muscles supports long-term improvement. Pay attention to subtle differences in sounds that may be similar but carry different meanings. For example, differentiating between ship and sheep or bit and beat is essential for accurate communication. Focus drills on minimal pairs sharpen auditory discrimination and production accuracy, improving comprehension in real conversations. Incorporate repetition of key phrases and self-introductions to reinforce muscle memory. Speaking familiar sentences with attention to clarity ensures that correct pronunciation becomes automatic. Daily repetition of these foundational phrases strengthens confidence and allows smooth, effortless delivery in real interactions. Slow down your speech initially to ensure each sound is produced correctly. Rushing leads to slurring, omission, and miscommunication. Gradual pacing during practice allows attention to detail and reinforces proper pronunciation. Once precision is established, speed can be increased without compromising clarity. Use visualization techniques to coordinate mouth movements with sounds. Imagine the tongue position, lip shape, and airflow required for each sound. This mental mapping accelerates learning, reinforces correct articulation, and reduces reliance on guesswork. Visualization combined with repetition ensures lasting improvement. Seek feedback from others when possible. Listeners can provide insight into sounds or words that are unclear or consistently mispronounced. Constructive input accelerates refinement and ensures that your speech is not only technically correct, but also intelligible to others in real-world settings. Practice integrating pronunciation with natural intonation and rhythm. Clear speech is not only about individual sounds, but also about the flow of words and sentences. Combining articulation with appropriate stress, pitch, and pacing ensures that your message is smooth, engaging, and easily understood. Create daily mini-routines dedicated to pronunciation. 5 to 10 minutes of focused practice each day accumulates over time, producing noticeable improvement. Consistency is more impactful than sporadic, lengthy sessions because regular engagement trains both mind and muscles. Maintain vocal health to support clear pronunciation. Hydration, proper rest, and avoidance of strain protect the voice and ensure consistent sound quality. A healthy vocal apparatus allows effortless articulation, reduces fatigue, and maintains clarity even in extended speaking situations. Integrate pronunciation practice into real-life speaking scenarios. Apply refined skills when introducing yourself, participating in discussions, or giving presentations. Real-world application solidifies learning, builds confidence, and demonstrates to listeners that your speech is both clear and professional. Refining pronunciation daily is a discipline that strengthens communication, confidence, and connection. Every word spoken with clarity reduces misunderstanding, enhances credibility, and ensures that your audience receives your intended message without friction. Consistent attention to articulation, stress, rhythm, and vocal health transforms speech from ordinary to impactful. Mastery of pronunciation not only improves understanding, but also amplifies authority, presence, and engagement, making every interaction more effective, persuasive, and memorable. Chapter 12. Prepare short questions to invite conversational follow-up. Inviting meaningful conversation begins with preparing short, purposeful questions that spark curiosity and encourage genuine engagement, because dialogue is the bridge between connection and influence. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to learn, build rapport, and leave a memorable impression when your questions are intentional, concise, and engaging. Crafting questions in advance equips you with tools to navigate introductions, maintain momentum, and inspire responses that naturally deepen relationships. Preparing these questions is not about rigid scripting, but about creating pathways for conversation that are easy, approachable, and rewarding for both parties. Begin by identifying the purpose of your follow-up questions. Ask yourself what you want to learn from the other person and what kind of engagement you hope to foster. Focus on objectives like understanding experiences, discovering shared interests, or encouraging reflection. Clear intentions guide the type of questions you formulate, ensuring they are relevant and impactful. Questions grounded in purpose demonstrate thoughtfulness and create authentic connection. Keep questions concise and simple to maintain clarity. Long, complex questions can overwhelm or confuse listeners, reducing the likelihood of meaningful responses. Aim for brevity while retaining substance, focusing on one idea at a time. Short questions make it easier for the other person to answer naturally and reduce hesitation or misunderstanding. Incorporate open-ended questions to encourage expansive answers. Questions beginning with what, how, or why invite detailed responses, insights, and storytelling. Avoid yes or no questions unless you want a quick acknowledgement rather than conversation. Open-ended inquiries allow dialogue to unfold organically, providing opportunities to explore perspectives, experiences, and ideas. Focus on relevance to the context and audience. Tailor questions to the setting, purpose, and interests of the person you are engaging with. In professional introductions, questions may revolve around work, goals, or expertise. In casual social settings, questions might explore hobbies, experiences, or personal preferences. Relevant signals attentiveness, respect, and situational awareness. Prepare a list of versatile questions that can be adapted to different interactions. Examples include: what inspired you to pursue your current role? How do you approach challenges in your work? Or what projects are you most excited about recently? Having a repertoire of adaptable questions ensures that you are prepared for a variety of scenarios without sounding rehearsed. Practice delivering questions naturally. The way a question is asked can influence the response. Use a confident, calm tone and maintain eye contact to signal interest and sincerity. Avoid sounding robotic or overly scripted. Authentic delivery enhances engagement and encourages open, thoughtful answers. Anticipate potential follow-up responses and prepare brief comments or additional questions. Listening actively and responding thoughtfully strengthens the flow of conversation. Preparedness allows you to pivot smoothly, deepening dialogue while maintaining natural rhythm. This approach shows attentiveness, intelligence, and social skill. Integrate curiosity into your questions. Genuine curiosity creates energy and connection, signaling that you value the other person's perspective. When curiosity drives your questions, Responses are more meaningful, and interaction becomes collaborative rather than transactional. Authentic interest fosters trust and encourages openness. Balance depth and accessibility in your questions. Avoid overly personal or sensitive topics unless appropriate, and focus on areas that allow sharing without discomfort. Thoughtful, accessible questions ensure the conversation is inviting, comfortable, and engaging. Consider the listener's perspective to maintain balance between depth and approachability. Use sequential questioning to maintain conversational flow. Start with broader questions to establish comfort and context, then gradually introduce more specific or reflective inquiries. This progression allows rapport to build naturally and keeps dialogue dynamic and engaging. Sequential questions demonstrate attentiveness and strategic thinking. Incorporate reflective questions that invite the other person to share insights, experiences, or opinions. Questions such as, "What lessons have you learned from that experience?" or "How has your approach evolved over time?" encourage meaningful reflection and elevate conversation beyond superficial exchange. Reflective inquiries stimulate depth and create memorable interactions. Practice phrasing questions in a positive, open manner. Avoid leading questions that imply judgment or bias. Neutral, inviting phrasing encourages honesty and authentic responses. Constructing questions carefully demonstrates communication skill and emotional intelligence. Observe and adapt to nonverbal cues. Body language, tone, and facial expressions provide signals about engagement, comfort, and interest. Adjust questions and delivery based on these cues to maintain rapport and encourage participation. Awareness of nonverbal feedback strengthens conversational effectiveness and responsiveness. Use questions to explore shared experiences or common ground. Identifying areas of overlap fosters connection and creates a sense of mutual understanding. For example, asking, "Have you encountered similar challenges in your field?" encourages relatability and positions you as both attentive and engaged. Shared experiences make dialogue richer and more rewarding. Practice active listening after asking questions. Listening attentively allows for meaningful follow-up questions and responses that reflect genuine interest. Avoid thinking ahead or interrupting. Focus fully on what the other person is communicating. Active listening enhances comprehension, rapport, and the natural flow of conversation. Integrate brief summaries or reflections of the other person's responses to demonstrate engagement. Restating key points or acknowledging insights shows that you value their input and are attentive to detail. This technique strengthens connection and encourages further elaboration. Develop confidence in initiating questions without hesitation. A calm, self-assured approach signals that you are comfortable in dialogue and encourages others to open up. Practice framing and delivering questions until the process feels natural and instinctive. Confidence reinforces both clarity and approachability in conversation. Create a habit of reflecting on past interactions to improve future questions. Consider which questions elicited meaningful responses, which fell flat, and why. Use these insights to refine your approach, ensuring that each new interaction is more engaging, effective, and natural. Continuous reflection accelerates mastery in conversational skill. Combine prepared questions with spontaneous curiosity for dynamic conversations. While preparation builds confidence, responsiveness to the moment creates authenticity and engagement. Being present allows questions to evolve naturally from the dialogue, making interactions feel organic and memorable. Mastering the art of preparing short questions to invite conversational follow-up transforms introductions and exchanges into opportunities for connection, insight, and influence. Strategic, concise, and open-ended inquiries spark meaningful dialogue, build rapport, and leave lasting impressions. Through preparation, active listening, adaptability, and reflection, your questions guide conversations with confidence, authenticity, and impact, ensuring that every interaction opens doors to understanding, collaboration, and trust. Chapter 13. Adapt your introduction to different social situations easily. Adapting your introduction to different social situations gives you the power to connect instantly, build trust, and leave a memorable impression, because every setting demands awareness, flexibility, and intentionality. The way you present yourself in a professional meeting differs greatly from a casual gathering, and mastering this skill ensures that your message resonates, your confidence shows, and your presence feels natural everywhere. Social adaptability is not about pretending to be someone else, but about aligning your words, tone, and demeanor with the context while maintaining authenticity. The ability to shift seamlessly between environments reflects emotional intelligence, sharp observation, and preparation, and it can dramatically improve both personal and professional relationships. Begin by assessing the context of each interaction. Notice the setting, the formality of the event, the expectations of the participants, and the social norms at play. Professional environments often require concise, structured introductions, highlighting relevant experience or goals. Social gatherings may call for a warmer, more personal approach that emphasizes shared interests or approachable qualities. Understanding the context allows you to tailor your introduction effectively without overthinking or forcing behavior. Consider your audience carefully. Identify the people you are addressing, their interests, roles, and potential perspectives. Tailoring your introduction to their context demonstrates respect and consideration, immediately increasing receptiveness. For example, a business audience values clarity, credibility, and professional accomplishments, while a casual group may respond better to humor, curiosity, or personal stories. Knowing your audience ensures that your words resonate and your presence feels purposeful. Develop multiple versions of your introduction for flexibility. Prepare a concise, professional version, a friendly, casual version, and a versatile hybrid that can be adjusted on the spot. Having a repertoire ensures that you are never unprepared, and it allows smooth transitions between different interactions. Practicing these variations builds confidence and reduces hesitation when situations change unexpectedly. Practice modulating your tone and delivery to match the situation. In formal environments, maintain a composed, measured tone that conveys professionalism. In informal environments, maintain a composed, measured tone that conveys professionalism. In informal settings, a slightly lighter tone and more expressive delivery can foster connection. Tone and delivery communicate mood, intent, and engagement, often more powerfully than the words themselves. Adjusting them appropriately ensures your introduction aligns with expectations and maximizes impact. Observe the social dynamics before speaking. Notice body language, energy levels, and conversational flow among participants. Entering a situation with awareness helps you select the most appropriate words, tone, and gestures. Observation allows you to adapt naturally rather than forcing a scripted approach, creating introductions that feel relevant, responsive, and authentic. Highlight contextually relevant information. In professional scenarios, focus on expertise, achievements, or goals that matter to your audience. In casual interactions, share hobbies, interests, or personal anecdotes that create relatability. Selecting details based on relevance ensures your introduction captures attention without overwhelming or confusing listeners. Prioritizing content enhances memorability and connection. Use flexible phrasing to adapt on the fly. Phrases such as "I work in" or "I enjoy" can be expanded or shortened depending on time and context. Short, crisp statements work well in crowded or formal settings, while slightly longer, narrative-driven introductions suit informal environments. Flexibility in phrasing allows seamless adaptation without losing authenticity or clarity. Balance professionalism with warmth to maintain approachability. Even in highly formal settings, a small gesture of friendliness, like a brief smile or light tone, humanizes your introduction. Conversely, in casual settings, a touch of professionalism signals respect and credibility. This balance ensures you are perceived as competent, yet relatable, creating trust and engagement across social situations. Integrate nonverbal cues strategically. Adjust body language, posture, gestures, and facial expressions to suit the setting. Open, relaxed gestures and expressive facial cues are more effective in informal situations, while controlled, composed movements reinforce authority in formal contexts. Aligning nonverbal communication with your introduction strengthens impact and reinforces credibility. Practice adapting greetings and opening lines to different contexts. In professional scenarios, a polite, "Hello, my name is," followed by your role or purpose works best. In casual settings, informal greetings, humor, or context-specific remarks can create rapport. Opening lines set the tone for the entire interaction, and flexibility ensures you start on the right note. Anticipate follow-up questions and adjust your answers accordingly. Different settings may prompt varying levels of curiosity or scrutiny. Prepare brief, relevant responses that can be expanded or simplified depending on audience interest. Responsiveness signals attentiveness and ensures that your introduction evolves naturally into meaningful conversation. Observe cultural norms and etiquette in social situations. Different cultures or communities have distinct expectations for introductions, gestures, and personal space. Adapting to these norms demonstrates respect and social awareness, fostering positive perception and smoother interaction. Awareness of cultural context ensures your introduction is both appropriate and impactful. Maintain confidence while being flexible. Adaptation does not mean uncertainty or indecision. Confidence allows you to adjust naturally without appearing awkward or inconsistent. When you approach introductions with self-assuredness, your audience is more likely to respond positively regardless of context. Confidence reinforces authority and builds trust instantly. Engage actively with the environment to create resonance. Mention shared experiences, current activities, or observable circumstances to anchor your introduction in the moment. This contextual connection makes your words relevant and helps others relate more easily. Situational awareness combined with adaptation enhances connection and memorability. Develop a habit of observing and learning from others. Watch how skilled communicators navigate diverse social situations, noting tone, word choice, pacing, and gestures. Analyze strategies that work and adapt them to your style. Learning through observation accelerates mastery and provides practical templates for adaptation. Practice scenarios mentally or through role-play. Simulate introductions in formal, casual, and mixed environments to prepare for unexpected interactions. Mental rehearsal strengthens confidence, improves adaptability, and reduces hesitation in real-life situations. The more scenarios you anticipate, the easier it becomes to adjust naturally in any context. Integrate humor and relatability cautiously depending on the setting. In informal interactions, light humor or relatable comments can ease tension and foster connection. In formal situations, subtle humor or neutral remarks maintain professionalism while keeping the conversation approachable. Knowing when and how to incorporate relatability enhances adaptability and engagement. Reflect on each interaction to refine future adaptations. After meetings or social encounters, consider what worked, what felt natural, and where adjustments could improve effectiveness. Continuous reflection ensures progressive improvement, enabling smoother and more confident adaptation over time. Adapting your introduction to different social situations allows you to communicate effectively, authentically, and memorably, no matter the context. Flexibility, awareness, and preparation transform ordinary introductions into opportunities for connection, trust, and influence. By observing, practicing, and reflecting, you develop the ability to present yourself in ways that resonate with every audience, while maintaining confidence, clarity, and authenticity. Mastery of this skill ensures that every introduction becomes an opportunity to leave a lasting impression and build meaningful relationships effortlessly. Chapter 14. Apply feedback from others to continuously improve delivery. Feedback is the fuel that transforms ordinary speaking into exceptional delivery, because every observation, comment, and suggestion provides insight into how others perceive your communication and how you can improve. Embracing feedback allows you to see blind spots, refine your style, and enhance clarity, confidence, and impact. Improvement is not accidental, it is deliberate, and applying constructive guidance from others accelerates growth while keeping your approach authentic and relatable. Continuous enhancement of your delivery relies on the willingness to listen, assess, and implement changes with intention and focus. Start by seeking feedback from trusted sources who understand your goals. Colleagues, mentors, friends, or language partners can offer valuable perspectives on areas such as pronunciation, pacing, tone, and body language. Ask specific questions to guide their input. For example, was my introduction clear and engaging, or did my gestures support my words effectively? Focused questions generate actionable feedback rather than vague opinions. Listen actively without defensiveness when receiving feedback. Avoid interrupting, justifying, or dismissing suggestions, even if they feel uncomfortable. True growth comes from absorbing perspectives objectively and considering them thoughtfully. Understanding the intent behind feedback ensures that you can implement adjustments that genuinely enhance your delivery. Identify patterns in feedback to prioritize improvements. If multiple sources highlight the same issue, it signals a high-impact area to address first. Repeated feedback about clarity, for example, suggests refining pronunciation, pacing, or sentence structure. Targeting recurring points creates noticeable progress and increases confidence quickly. Separate constructive feedback from subjective opinion. While all perspectives are valuable, some comments may reflect personal preference rather than universal communication principles. Focus on actionable, objective suggestions that improve comprehension, engagement, and effectiveness. Filtering feedback ensures that changes enhance your delivery without compromising your authentic voice. Integrate feedback gradually into your practice. Attempting to address everything at once can be overwhelming and counterproductive. Choose one or two key areas to work on consistently, then expand to other elements once initial improvements are stable. Incremental change is sustainable and reinforces mastery over time. Record yourself before and after applying feedback to measure progress. Listening to recordings allows you to evaluate improvements objectively and identify areas needing further refinement. Comparing past and current performance builds motivation and illustrates the tangible results of incorporating suggestions. Experiment with different approaches to implement feedback effectively. If a mentor suggests slowing your pace, practice varying sentence speed until you find a rhythm that feels natural. If pronunciation corrections are recommended, break challenging words into syllables and repeat until clarity is consistent. Adaptation through experimentation ensures that improvements are sustainable and authentic. Create a habit of reflecting on feedback immediately after receiving it. Write down key points, actionable steps, and observations about how adjustments might feel in practice. Documenting insights reinforces understanding and provides a reference to track progress, ensuring that feedback translates into meaningful action. Combine feedback from multiple sources to form a comprehensive improvement plan. Each perspective adds a layer of understanding that, when synthesized, highlights strengths to maintain and weaknesses to address. Using feedback collectively maximizes growth while balancing diverse viewpoints without losing coherence in your style. Practice implementing feedback in real-world situations. Apply suggestions during introductions, conversations, or presentations to reinforce changes under authentic conditions. Real-life practice ensures that adjustments become instinctive and effective rather than isolated to rehearsals or simulations. Maintain an open mindset toward continuous learning. Feedback is not a one-time tool, but an ongoing resource for lifelong improvement. Approach each suggestion as an opportunity to enhance communication skills, expand influence, and increase confidence. The mindset of perpetual growth differentiates those who merely speak from those who inspire through speech. Reflect on what resonates and feels authentic when applying feedback. Not all changes must be adopted wholesale. Select strategies that align with your personality, style, and comfort level. Authenticity enhances credibility, while thoughtful adaptation ensures that improvements feel natural and sustainable. Encourage iterative improvement by revisiting feedback regularly. Return to prior suggestions, assess progress, and refine further as necessary. Iteration reinforces mastery, prevents regression, and builds a disciplined approach to self-development in communication. Use feedback to strengthen non-verbal elements of delivery. Suggestions about posture, gestures, facial expressions, or eye contact can dramatically influence perceived confidence and clarity. Implementing these adjustments alongside verbal refinements creates cohesive, compelling, and memorable communication. Prioritize feedback that impacts listener engagement. Focus on areas that increase clarity, emotional resonance, or connection with the audience. Adjustments that enhance comprehension and responsiveness make your speech more effective and elevate the overall experience for listeners. Celebrate improvements that result from applying feedback. Recognize progress, no matter how small, to build motivation and reinforce the habit of learning. Acknowledging growth sustains momentum and fosters a positive, resilient approach to continual enhancement. Seek clarification when feedback is unclear. Ask follow-up questions to ensure you fully understand suggestions and the rationale behind them. Accurate interpretation allows precise application and avoids missteps that could hinder progress. Clear understanding ensures efficiency and effectiveness in implementing changes. Integrate feedback into structured practice routines. Dedicate focused sessions to specific elements identified for improvement, such as pacing, clarity, or body language. Consistent, targeted practice transforms feedback from abstract advice into concrete skills that become automatic over time. Encourage feedback in varied contexts to refine adaptability. Request input from different audiences, settings, or situations to develop versatile communication skills. Exposure to diverse perspectives enhances responsiveness, flexibility, and the ability to maintain effective delivery under any circumstances. Applying feedback from others to continuously improve delivery transforms ordinary communication into compelling, confident, and impactful expression. Through careful listening, reflection, prioritization, and practice, feedback becomes a catalyst for growth, enabling mastery of clarity, presence, and engagement. The disciplined application of suggestions strengthens authenticity, sharpens skill, and ensures that every introduction, conversation, or presentation resonates with authority, precision, and influence, turning communication into a tool for connection, trust, and meaningful impact. Chapter 15. Record and review your introductions to track progress. Recording and reviewing your introductions is one of the most powerful ways to accelerate growth, strengthen confidence, and ensure every word you speak leaves a lasting impression, because improvement begins with observation and self-awareness. When you capture your introductions on audio or video, you create an objective mirror that reflects how you present yourself, how your tone resonates, and how your gestures align with your words. Relying solely on memory or self-perception is insufficient, because our internal sense of delivery often differs from how others experience it. Recording creates clarity, revealing subtle habits, patterns, and nuances that influence perception and impact. Begin by setting aside dedicated time to record your introductions regularly. This can be daily or several times a week, depending on your availability and goals. Consistency is key, because frequent recordings provide a timeline of progress, allowing you to observe growth and detect persistent areas that need refinement. Treat each recording session as both practice and evaluation, understanding that each iteration brings incremental improvement. Focus first on capturing your words and pacing. Speak naturally and clearly, as if addressing a real audience. Avoid overthinking or forcing perfection during recording, because genuine delivery provides the most accurate material for review. The goal is to capture an authentic representation of your introduction that can be analyzed and refined. Authentic recordings are far more valuable than artificially polished performances, because they reveal real habits, tendencies, and areas for growth. Listen attentively to each recording with a critical but constructive mindset. Identify strengths such as confident tone, clear pronunciation, or engaging phrasing. Also, note areas that need improvement, including filler words, rushed sentences, monotone delivery, or unclear articulation. Constructive observation allows you to separate habits that enhance communication from those that hinder it. Balance self-critique with recognition of progress to maintain motivation and maintain a positive growth mindset. Evaluate tone, rhythm, and intonation. Notice where your speech may sound flat, hesitant, or uneven, and identify opportunities to emphasize key words or phrases for impact. Vocal variation conveys energy, confidence, and engagement, ensuring listeners remain attentive and connected. Practicing vocal modulation through review helps develop a dynamic, compelling introduction that holds attention effortlessly. Pay attention to body language if recording video. Observe posture, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact. These non-verbal cues reinforce verbal communication, enhance credibility, and convey confidence. Identify moments where gestures may feel stiff, unnatural, or distracting, and practice adjustments to create alignment between words and movements. Video review transforms subtle physical habits into powerful tools of expression. Compare recordings over time to track progress. Maintaining a library of past recordings allows you to objectively see how far you have come, identify trends, and measure improvement. Noticing incremental growth builds confidence and motivates continued practice. Tracking development also highlights patterns that persist and need deliberate attention, ensuring focused and strategic improvement. Incorporate pauses and pacing analysis. Listening to your recordings can reveal where speech is rushed or where unnecessary pauses occur. Adjusting these elements improves clarity, emphasizes important points, and creates a natural rhythm that engages listeners. Practicing deliberate pacing ensures that each introduction is impactful and easy to follow. Use recordings as a tool to experiment with variations. Test different opening lines, sentence structures, or gestures to determine which approaches feel most effective and authentic. Experimentation in a low-pressure environment allows you to refine delivery, enhance memorability, and cultivate versatility in real-world interactions. Solicit feedback on recordings from trusted individuals. Sharing recordings with mentors, peers, or colleagues provides external perspectives that you may not notice on your own. Constructive feedback combined with your self-review offers a comprehensive understanding of strengths and weaknesses, accelerating refinement and ensuring practical improvements translate to live performance. Develop a structured review routine for each recording. Focus sequentially on content, clarity, tone, body language, and pacing. Breaking analysis into distinct elements prevents overwhelm and ensures thorough evaluation. This methodical approach produces consistent results and transforms recordings into actionable tools for growth. Observe and reduce filler words, unnecessary repetitions, or distracting habits. Repeated phrases, or like, and excessive gesturing dilute clarity and authority. Identifying these elements in recordings provides the opportunity to implement corrections consciously and gradually reduce reliance on these habits over time. Clear, concise delivery strengthens credibility and enhances listener engagement. Practice implementing adjustments immediately after review. Apply observed improvements in the next recording session to reinforce learning and build muscle memory. Rapid application consolidates feedback, turning observation into action and ensuring changes become instinctive. The iterative process of record, review, adjust, and re-record accelerates mastery efficiently. Reflect on emotional expression and authenticity. Recordings reveal how well your energy, passion, and sincerity come through in your introduction. Monitor whether enthusiasm feels natural, if emotions are conveyed appropriately, and whether your personality resonates with the audience. Fine-tuning authenticity creates introductions that are compelling, relatable, and memorable. Leverage recordings to enhance memorization and fluency. Listening repeatedly reinforces word choice, sentence structure, and phrasing, allowing natural recall without reliance on scripts. Familiarity with your recorded introduction builds confidence, reduces hesitation, and supports smooth, articulate delivery in live interactions. Monitor timing and length of your introduction. Recordings can reveal if your introduction is too long, too short, or uneven in flow. Adjusting duration ensures that your introduction remains concise, engaging, and suitable for a variety of social or professional contexts. Mastering timing creates introductions that feel polished yet natural. Use recordings to practice self-correction in real time. As you listen, note patterns that require attention and actively adjust during subsequent recordings. This feedback loop strengthens awareness, improves execution, and fosters self-discipline in communication practice. Regular self-correction ensures ongoing refinement and sustainable improvement. Celebrate visible improvement across recordings to reinforce motivation, recognizing progress. Even small gains in clarity, confidence, or expressiveness builds momentum and reinforces the value of disciplined practice. Acknowledging achievements keeps the process positive, energizing, and goal-oriented. Integrate recordings into broader communication training. Combine review with pronunciation exercises, vocal modulation practice, and body language drills to create a holistic approach to self-introduction mastery. Comprehensive practice ensures that all elements of delivery, verbal, non-verbal, and emotional, work together seamlessly. Recording and reviewing your introductions creates a feedback-rich environment that drives continuous growth, strengthens confidence, and transforms communication into a precise, compelling skill. Through consistent observation, structured analysis, deliberate adjustments and iterative practice, each introduction becomes sharper, more authentic, and increasingly effective. This disciplined approach empowers you to track progress, measure improvement, and cultivate a polished, confident, and memorable presence in every interaction, ensuring that every self-introduction leaves a lasting positive impression and sets the foundation for meaningful connections. Chapter 16. Practice introducing yourself in formal business and casual settings. Mastering introductions in both formal business and casual settings empowers you to communicate with confidence, make a lasting impression, and build meaningful connections, because every social environment demands awareness, preparation, and adaptability. The way you introduce yourself at a corporate meeting differs significantly from a friendly gathering, and understanding these distinctions ensures that your presentation feels natural, credible, and memorable. Practicing in both contexts allows you to develop versatility, refine delivery, and internalize strategies that work across multiple situations, strengthening your confidence and effectiveness. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to demonstrate professionalism, authenticity, and social intelligence when you are prepared to navigate diverse scenarios with ease. Begin by analyzing the core differences between formal and casual introductions. Formal settings prioritize clarity, professionalism, and relevance. In these contexts, your introduction should highlight your role, experience, and purpose concisely, emphasizing credibility and competence. Casual settings, on the other hand, value approachability, relatability, and personal connection. Sharing hobbies, experiences, or interests can build rapport, while a relaxed tone conveys friendliness and openness. Understanding these distinctions allows you to tailor both content and delivery for maximum impact. Prepare separate versions of your introduction for each setting. A formal introduction might begin with your name, position, and professional focus, followed by a succinct statement of your goals or expertise. A casual introduction could start with your name, a personal interest, or an anecdote that encourages engagement and conversation. Practicing these variations ensures that you can move seamlessly between environments without hesitation or awkwardness. Practice delivery with attention to tone and pacing. In business settings, maintain a measured, confident tone that communicates authority and professionalism. Emphasize clarity and avoid rushing, ensuring that each word is understood. In casual settings, adopt a warmer, more expressive tone that invites conversation and connection. Modulating your tone according to context reinforces the intended message and aligns perception with purpose. Observe and adjust body language according to the environment. Formal introductions benefit from upright posture, firm but approachable gestures, and controlled facial expressions. Casual introductions allow for more relaxed movements, open gestures, and expressive facial cues that convey friendliness. Body language reinforces verbal communication, so practicing alignment between your words and gestures is critical to effective delivery. Incorporate contextually appropriate content. For business settings, focus on achievements, relevant experience, and specific goals that demonstrate value. Highlight accomplishments succinctly and emphasize contributions that are pertinent to your audience. In casual interactions, prioritize relatable experiences, shared interests, or personal stories that foster connection. Selecting details strategically ensures that your introduction is engaging, relevant, and memorable. Use repetition and rehearsal to build fluency and confidence. Rehearsing your formal and casual introductions aloud reinforces natural delivery, reduces hesitation, and internalizes key points. Practicing regularly allows you to adapt spontaneously in real interactions without sounding rehearsed. Confidence grows as familiarity with your introductions increases, creating ease in both structured and informal environments. Incorporate feedback from others to refine your approach. Share your formal and casual introductions with mentors, friends, or colleagues, and request constructive feedback. Identify strengths, areas for improvement, and opportunities to enhance clarity, engagement, or authenticity. Applying feedback iteratively ensures continuous improvement and strengthens adaptability across diverse settings. Pay attention to timing. In professional contexts, keep introductions concise, aiming for clarity and efficiency. Long-winded or off-topic statements can reduce credibility and distract from your message. In casual settings, a slightly longer introduction may be appropriate, especially if it encourages dialogue or shared experiences. Practicing timing ensures that your introduction feels balanced, polished, and appropriate for the environment. Practice transitions between formal and casual introductions. Networking events often blend business and social interaction, requiring smooth movement between professional and personal communication. Develop strategies to pivot naturally from discussing professional expertise to engaging in friendly conversation. Seamless transitions demonstrate social intelligence, adaptability, and confidence. Engage actively with the listener regardless of setting. In formal environments, maintain eye contact, nod to signal attentiveness, and respond thoughtfully to cues. In casual environments, show genuine interest through smiles, mirroring body language, and asking follow-up questions. Active engagement fosters connection and enhances the overall effectiveness of your introduction. Experiment with phrasing and structure to determine what resonates most in each context. Test different opening lines, sentence sequences, and personal anecdotes to identify approaches that feel authentic, natural, and impactful. Recording and reviewing practice sessions provides insight into which strategies work best, allowing you to refine both content and delivery continuously. Develop adaptability through role-play exercises. Simulate introductions in formal and casual scenarios, including unexpected situations such as time constraints, group settings, or mixed audiences. Practicing in varied contexts builds resilience, flexibility, and readiness for real-world interactions. Role-play allows you to experiment safely, adjust strategies, and internalize adaptive communication skills. Balance authenticity with appropriateness. Even when adapting to context, remain true to your personality and values. Authenticity strengthens credibility and fosters trust, while context-appropriate adjustments ensure that your introduction is effective and well-received. Mastery lies in combining genuine expression with situational awareness to communicate confidently in every setting. Reflect on each practice session and real interaction to identify improvement opportunities. Consider what worked well, what felt awkward, and how the audience responded. Documenting reflections helps create a targeted plan for refining introductions over time. Continuous reflection accelerates mastery, providing clear benchmarks for progress and growth. Integrate non-verbal reinforcement techniques. In formal settings, maintain controlled gestures, steady posture, and deliberate eye contact. In casual settings, allow for expressive movement and relaxed demeanor to convey warmth. Coordinating verbal and non-verbal communication strengthens overall impact and ensures your message is delivered cohesively. Focus on clarity and simplicity in word choice. Professional introductions should avoid unnecessary jargon while remaining precise and informative. Casual introductions should use accessible language that encourages understanding and engagement. Clear articulation ensures that your introduction is comprehensible, memorable, and impactful regardless of setting. Practice resilience in adapting to unexpected circumstances. Some introductions may occur in noisy, high-pressure, or unfamiliar environments. Rehearsing for diverse conditions builds confidence, reduces anxiety, and enhances your ability to deliver consistently under varying circumstances. Resilience ensures that your introduction remains effective even when external factors challenge your composure. Finally, commit to daily or regular practice of both formal and casual introductions. Repetition, reflection, and adjustment reinforce skill, boost confidence, and internalize strategies for effortless communication. Mastery is achieved through disciplined, intentional, and consistent effort, transforming every introduction into an opportunity to connect, impress, and leave a lasting positive impression. Practicing introductions in both formal business and casual settings ensures that you can engage confidently, communicate effectively, and connect meaningfully in any situation. Through careful preparation, deliberate practice, active engagement, and continuous refinement, your introductions become polished, authentic, and versatile. This dual mastery equips you with the ability to navigate professional networks, social gatherings, and mixed environments with poise, clarity, and lasting impact, ensuring that every self-introduction communicates competence, warmth, and authenticity. Chapter 17. Learn cultural cues to show respect and build rapport. Understanding and respecting cultural cues is a powerful way to create immediate trust, strengthen relationships, and communicate effectively because it shows awareness, sensitivity, and genuine interest in others. Every culture has unique norms for greetings, gestures, tone, eye contact, and personal space, and learning to navigate these cues demonstrates respect while reducing the risk of misunderstandings. When you adapt to cultural expectations, you signal that you value the other person's background, build rapport more quickly, and increase the impact of your introductions. Awareness of cultural differences is not just about etiquette, it is a tool for connection, credibility, and influence in both personal and professional interactions. Start by researching the culture of the audience you will be engaging with. Learn common greeting customs, acceptable physical contact, communication styles, and conversational norms. For example, some cultures prioritize formal titles and polite speech, while others appreciate informality and humor. Understanding these foundational elements allows you to adapt naturally without appearing awkward or insincere. Knowledge reduces anxiety and equips you to respond confidently in real-world interactions. Observe local practices and social behaviors in context. Notice how people interact with one another, the degree of formality in language, gestures that signal politeness, and how emotions are expressed. Observation is key because cultural cues are often subtle and nuanced, and paying attention allows you to align your behavior in a way that feels appropriate and respectful. When you mirror these behaviors thoughtfully, you foster rapport and demonstrate awareness. Be mindful of verbal communication patterns. Some cultures favor direct communication, where clarity and brevity are valued, while others prioritize indirect approaches, where diplomacy and nuance are essential. Adjust your sentence structure, tone, and phrasing to match the expectations of your audience. Misalignment in verbal communication can unintentionally convey rudeness or arrogance, while correct alignment builds trust and understanding. Pay attention to non-verbal cues, such as gestures, posture, and facial expressions. Handshakes, bows, nods, and eye contact all carry different meanings across cultures. For example, sustained eye contact may convey confidence in one culture but be considered disrespectful in another. Learning the appropriate use of these cues ensures your body language reinforces rather than undermines your words. Nonverbal awareness is as critical as verbal clarity in creating a positive first impression. Consider personal space and physical interaction carefully. Different cultures have varying expectations for proximity, touch, and physical contact. Maintaining the correct distance and using appropriate gestures signals respect and consideration. Awareness of these boundaries prevents discomfort and strengthens the perception that you are attentive and culturally sensitive. Adjust tone and energy level according to cultural norms. Some cultures respond positively to high energy, animated speech, and expressive gestures, while others prefer calm, measured delivery. Matching tone and energy helps your message resonate, demonstrates cultural intelligence, and increases engagement. Your ability to adapt vocal expression communicates attentiveness and empathy. Learn culturally appropriate forms of address. Using proper titles, surnames, or honorifics conveys respect and awareness of social hierarchy. Failing to acknowledge these norms can create a negative impression, while correct usage strengthens credibility and rapport. Memorizing key forms of address ensures you communicate deference and professionalism in all settings. Incorporate culturally relevant topics or references when appropriate. Demonstrating knowledge of local customs, traditions, or achievements signals interest and builds connection. For instance, acknowledging a festival, local achievement, or popular cultural practice can spark engagement and show attentiveness. This practice deepens rapport and highlights your effort to understand the context in which communication occurs. Practice active listening and observation to detect subtle cues. Notice responses to your words, gestures, and tone, and adjust accordingly. Listening attentively conveys respect and helps you interpret reactions accurately. By observing subtle feedback, you can fine-tune your communication to avoid misunderstandings and enhance connection. Be cautious with humor and casual remarks. Humor varies widely across cultures, and jokes that work in one context may offend in another. When introducing yourself or engaging in conversation, err on the side of professionalism and politeness until you understand the cultural norms. This approach prevents unintentional offense and ensures introductions remain positive and engaging. Develop flexibility and adaptability in real-time interactions. Cultural nuances often cannot be fully predicted, so responding with awareness, respect, and calmness is essential. If a situation feels unfamiliar, observing the behavior of others and mirroring it can help you adapt seamlessly. Flexibility builds credibility and shows emotional intelligence. Reflect on past interactions to improve cultural awareness. After each engagement, consider what cues were present, how your actions were received, and what could be adjusted in the future. Continuous reflection enhances understanding, reinforces effective habits, and strengthens your ability to navigate diverse social settings. Seek feedback from culturally knowledgeable individuals. Mentors, colleagues, or local contacts can provide insights into subtle cues, acceptable behaviors, and preferred communication styles. External input accelerates learning and ensures you are applying cultural awareness effectively. Feedback refines your approach and enhances confidence. Develop a habit of respectful curiosity. Ask questions politely when unsure about customs or expectations. Demonstrating interest in learning about others' culture signals humility, openness, and genuine engagement. Thoughtful inquiry fosters rapport while allowing you to adapt accurately to specific situations. Practice introductions in different cultural contexts to build versatility. Simulate scenarios or role-play with culturally diverse peers to identify adjustments needed for tone, gestures, and content. Repetition in varied contexts builds confidence and ensures you can perform naturally under real-world conditions. Balance authenticity with cultural sensitivity. Adapt behavior to align with norms without losing your voice or personality. Effective cultural adaptation does not require imitation, but thoughtful alignment, demonstrating respect while maintaining credibility and authenticity. Maintain awareness of contextual hierarchy. Some cultures value seniority, titles, or rank in conversation, and recognizing this influences how you introduce yourself, the order of speech, and the emphasis you place on credentials or achievements. Aligning with hierarchy ensures respect and enhances acceptance in professional and social environments. Use recordings to practice culturally aware introductions. Observing yourself allows you to detect inconsistencies between verbal content, nonverbal behavior, and cultural expectations. Reviewing recordings provides concrete opportunities to refine delivery, gestures, and tone before engaging in real interactions. Learning cultural cues to show respect and build rapport transforms every introduction into a strategic opportunity for connection, trust, and influence. By observing, practicing, and adapting to cultural norms, you demonstrate awareness, sensitivity, and authenticity. This skill empowers you to communicate effectively in diverse settings, deepen relationships, and leave lasting positive impressions, ensuring that your introductions resonate with respect and connection across any cultural context. Chapter 18. Limit filler words to sound clear, calm, and focused. Every word you speak carries power and influence. When you eliminate filler words, your speech becomes clear, calm, and focused, commanding attention and respect instantly. Filler words like and you know, dilute your message, distract listeners, and subtly undermine credibility, even if used unconsciously. Mastering the ability to speak without unnecessary pauses transforms your communication, allowing your ideas to land with precision, authority, and confidence. Control over language is a reflection of control over thought, and reducing fillers demonstrates discipline, clarity, and intentionality in every introduction or conversation. Start by becoming aware of your habits. Record yourself during introductions, casual conversations, or practice sessions, and listen for filler words. Identifying patterns is the first step toward correction, because you cannot fix what you do not observe. Awareness builds accountability and gives a clear baseline from which to measure improvement. Replace filler words with strategic pauses. Silence, when used deliberately, is a powerful tool in communication. Pausing gives you time to gather thoughts, adds emphasis to your words, and communicates confidence. Instead of filling the gap with or like, pause briefly and continue, allowing your audience to absorb the previous statement. This creates a more deliberate and impactful delivery. Practice slow and measured speech. Rapid speech often leads to unconscious filler usage as the mind races to keep up with the words. Slowing down allows you to choose words carefully, form complete thoughts, and avoid crutches. Slower speech not only reduces filler words, but also enhances clarity, comprehension, and listener engagement. Use breath control to anchor your delivery. Deep, controlled breaths support a steady pace and calm tone while reducing tension that often triggers fillers. Focusing on breathing keeps your mind centered and prevents nervous or anxious speech patterns. Controlled breathing reinforces clarity, projects calmness, and conveys confidence. Develop concise mental frameworks before speaking. Outline key points or sentences in your mind before beginning an introduction. When you have a clear structure, your thoughts flow naturally without hesitation, minimizing the urge to use fillers. Mental preparation streamlines communication and strengthens authority in your message. Practice enunciating every word distinctly. Clear articulation discourages reliance on fillers, because precise pronunciation requires focus and intentionality. Speaking distinctly ensures that each word is purposeful and communicates meaning effectively. Practicing enunciation develops vocal control and supports a polished professional presentation. Record and review multiple iterations of your speech. Listen specifically for instances of filler words and self-correct in subsequent attempts. Recording provides objective feedback, making it easier to identify patterns and measure progress over time. This process reinforces discipline and encourages conscious attention to word choice and delivery. Integrate pauses as a deliberate rhetorical tool. Strategic silence emphasizes key ideas and allows listeners to engage with your words. Pausing intentionally replaces filler words with strength, clarity, and emphasis, turning every introduction into a more compelling experience. A well-timed pause conveys confidence and mastery over speech. Replace habitual fillers with transitional phrases or connecting words intentionally. Words like therefore, for example, or in addition provide structure and fluidity without detracting from authority. Conscious use of connecting phrases organizes thoughts and maintains momentum, creating smooth, natural, and professional-sounding speech. Practice speaking in front of a mirror to monitor facial tension and gestures. Nervous habits often trigger filler words, and visual feedback increases self-awareness. Observing yourself while speaking helps identify moments of hesitation and allows you to replace them with deliberate pauses or controlled gestures. Mirror practice reinforces self-correction and strengthens presence. Engage in daily exercises designed to eliminate fillers. Read aloud from books, articles, or prepared scripts while focusing on avoiding filler words. Deliberate repetition builds muscle memory and conditions your speech patterns to remain clear, controlled, and intentional. Daily reinforcement ensures lasting results and builds confidence over time. Seek feedback from trusted listeners. Ask colleagues, mentors, or friends to note filler words during conversations or presentations. External observation complements self-review, providing a more complete picture of speech habits. Constructive feedback highlights subtle habits that you might not notice independently, accelerating improvement. Practice thinking before speaking. Allow a moment to process your next sentence mentally instead of filling silence with unnecessary words. Conscious thought ensures that every word carries meaning, reducing nervous or unconscious verbal crutches. Pausing to think improves clarity, focus, and overall effectiveness in communication. Implement mindful speaking exercises. Focus entirely on your words, tone, and rhythm, while minimizing distraction or multitasking. Mindful attention strengthens control over verbal patterns, reduces filler words, and fosters deliberate, impactful communication. Mindfulness enhances both self-awareness and presence, key components of compelling delivery. Cultivate confidence through preparation. The more familiar you are with your content and message, the less likely you are to rely on fillers. Practicing introductions, conversational topics, or speeches builds competence, reinforces memory, and encourages fluid, deliberate expression. Confidence and preparedness naturally reduce hesitation and verbal crutches. Use visual cues or notes strategically. When speaking publicly or in a meeting, glance at notes or cue cards instead of resorting to filler words. Visual references anchor your thought process and provide seamless transitions between ideas, minimizing the urge to fill pauses with meaningless words. Notes guide clarity without interrupting natural flow. Observe skilled communicators and emulate their strategies. Pay attention to how experienced speakers handle pauses, transitions, and moments of hesitation without fillers. Analyze their pacing, tone, and structure, then integrate similar techniques into your own practice. Modeling success provides a practical roadmap for reducing filler words effectively. Reflect on progress regularly. Track instances of filler usage over time and celebrate reductions in frequency. Recognizing improvement reinforces discipline, motivates continued practice, and highlights the tangible benefits of clarity, calmness, and focus in communication. Reflection ensures continued accountability and growth. Integrate filler word reduction into real-world interactions. Apply techniques during networking, presentations, meetings, or casual conversations. Each live opportunity reinforces learning, strengthens adaptability, and transforms controlled practice into natural, confident delivery. Real-world application solidifies skill and enhances credibility in every interaction. Limiting filler words is a transformative practice that elevates every introduction, conversation, and speech. By cultivating awareness, controlling pacing and breathing, practicing deliberate articulation, and reviewing performance regularly, communication becomes clear, calm, and focused. Every elimination of unnecessary words strengthens presence, conveys authority, and fosters engagement, ensuring that your audience hears your message with full attention and your voice resonates with confidence, precision, and impact. Chapter 19. Create a 1-minute pitch that highlights strengths. A powerful 1-minute pitch can open doors, leave lasting impressions, and instantly communicate your value to anyone you meet, because time is limited and impact is everything. Creating a pitch that highlights your strengths requires focus, clarity, and practice, transforming a brief introduction into a compelling story that resonates with listeners. Every word, tone, and gesture must serve a purpose, conveying confidence, competence, and authenticity while ensuring your audience remembers you for the right reasons. A well-crafted pitch does not just describe what you do, it showcases who you are, what you offer, and why others should engage with you. Begin by identifying your core strengths. Focus on the skills, experiences, and qualities that define your professional and personal value. These may include problem-solving abilities, leadership skills, creativity, or specialized expertise. Be honest and selective, emphasizing strengths that are relevant to the audience or context. Highlighting the right strengths ensures that your pitch is compelling, meaningful, and credible. Structure your pitch with clarity in mind. Begin with a concise introduction, stating your name and current role or focus. Immediately follow with 1 or 2 key strengths that distinguish you. Conclude with a statement of purpose, goal, or what you hope to achieve in the interaction. Structuring your pitch in this way ensures flow, logical progression, and maximum impact within 1 minute. Use concise and precise language. Avoid unnecessary details or filler words that dilute the message. Every sentence should convey specific value and relevance. Precision ensures that your strengths are easily understood, remembered, and appreciated by the listener. Simplicity in expression enhances clarity, confidence, and engagement. Incorporate specific examples or accomplishments to reinforce strengths. Briefly mention achievements, projects, or experiences that demonstrate competence and credibility. Quantifiable results or tangible outcomes add weight to your claims and make your pitch memorable. Examples give context and provide evidence that strengthens the impression of your abilities. Focus on engaging your audience from the first second. Begin with a strong opening line that captures attention and conveys confidence. Eye contact, upright posture, and controlled tone communicate presence and professionalism immediately. The opening sets the stage for a pitch that is persuasive and memorable. Practice timing to ensure your pitch fits within 1 minute. Use a timer during rehearsal to refine pacing and content. 1-minute pitches require discipline, brevity, and careful word choice. Practicing to time builds confidence, reduces hesitation, and ensures smooth delivery without rushing or exceeding the limit. Emphasize enthusiasm and authenticity. Convey genuine interest and passion for your work, purpose, or goals. Authentic energy resonates with listeners and enhances credibility, making your strengths more compelling. Enthusiasm demonstrates commitment and motivates engagement. Use vocal variety to enhance impact. Modulate tone, pitch, and volume to emphasize key points and maintain listener interest. Monotone delivery diminishes engagement and reduces the perceived strength of your message. Thoughtful vocal variation reinforces confidence, clarity, and professionalism. Include a clear statement of value or purpose. Conclude your pitch by articulating what you aim to accomplish, the audience benefit, or how you intend to contribute. This final element leaves a strong impression, giving listeners a reason to remember you and consider further engagement. A purposeful ending transforms a pitch from simple introduction to actionable connection. Refine body language to support verbal communication. Use open gestures, upright posture, and deliberate movements to convey confidence. Avoid crossing arms or fidgeting, which can distract from your message. Alignment between words and body language reinforces credibility and makes your pitch more persuasive. Seek feedback to optimize your pitch. Record yourself delivering the 1-minute version and review for clarity, tone, and engagement. Share recordings with trusted colleagues, mentors, or friends for constructive critique. Applying feedback ensures continuous improvement and hones delivery for maximum impact. Practice adaptability to adjust your pitch for different audiences. Tailor examples, phrasing, or emphasis depending on whether you are addressing professionals, peers, or casual listeners. Contextual adaptation enhances relevance, demonstrates awareness, and increases the likelihood of meaningful connection. Memorize key points without sounding rehearsed. Internalize the structure and main ideas so your delivery feels natural, fluid, and spontaneous. Avoid over-rehearsal that can lead to robotic delivery. Instead, focus on confident recall that allows for slight improvisation while maintaining clarity and impact. Incorporate pauses strategically. Brief pauses allow the listener to absorb key points and give you space to control pacing. Pausing prevents rushing, reduces filler words, and enhances emphasis on your strengths. A well-timed pause makes your pitch more engaging and authoritative. Practice transitioning from your pitch to conversation. Prepare follow-up questions or statements that invite dialogue after your introduction. Smooth transitions encourage interaction, build rapport, and expand opportunities for connection beyond the initial 1-minute pitch. Record multiple versions to experiment with phrasing and emphasis. Testing different approaches helps identify which delivery resonates best with your audience. Continuous experimentation builds versatility, confidence, and adaptability in various social or professional contexts. Monitor and refine nonverbal cues consistently. Facial expressions, gestures, and posture should align with verbal content to reinforce authenticity and clarity. Consistency between words and actions strengthens perceived competence and leaves a lasting impression. Celebrate progress to reinforce confidence. Each successful delivery, refinement, or positive feedback reinforces your ability to communicate effectively. Recognizing improvement builds momentum, encourages continued practice, and strengthens belief in your own capabilities. Commit to daily or regular practice to internalize the 1-minute pitch. Repetition develops automaticity, fluency, and confidence, transforming your pitch into a natural extension of your communication style. The more you practice, the more polished, compelling, and impactful your delivery becomes. Creating a 1-minute pitch that highlights your strengths ensures that every introduction communicates value, confidence, and clarity. By structuring content thoughtfully, emphasizing relevant accomplishments, practicing delivery, and refining both verbal and non-verbal cues, you develop a powerful tool that opens doors, fosters connections, and leaves a lasting impression. Mastery of this skill transforms brief encounters into meaningful opportunities and positions you as articulate, capable, and memorable in any setting. Chapter 20. Commit to daily practice and celebrate small speaking wins. Consistency transforms skill into mastery, and committing to daily practice while celebrating small speaking wins builds unstoppable confidence and lasting improvement in communication. Each time you dedicate time to practicing introductions, refining pronunciation, or polishing delivery, you strengthen neural pathways that make fluent, clear, and compelling speech feel natural. Progress is rarely instant, but small victories accumulate, and recognizing these wins motivates continued effort while reinforcing a positive mindset towards self-improvement. Daily practice is not just repetition, it is intentional action that shapes habits, sharpens skills, and embeds confidence into every interaction. Begin by establishing a structured routine for daily speaking practice. Set aside dedicated time each day to rehearse introductions, record yourself, and experiment with tone, pacing, and gestures. Consistency ensures that improvement is steady and measurable, transforming practice from sporadic effort into a disciplined habit. When practice becomes routine, your skills grow organically and confidence rises effortlessly. Focus on achievable goals each day, rather than attempting to perfect every aspect of communication at once. Target specific areas, such as reducing filler words, enhancing clarity, or controlling pacing. Breaking progress into manageable steps prevents overwhelm and allows you to celebrate small accomplishments. Every minor improvement is a victory that reinforces momentum and strengthens belief in your ability to succeed. Incorporate reflection into daily practice. After each session, review what went well and identify areas for refinement. Reflection creates awareness, sharpens self-correction skills, and provides a roadmap for continuous growth. By documenting progress, you can see tangible evidence of improvement, which fuels motivation and keeps you committed over the long term. Celebrate every small win intentionally. Recognize when you speak fluently without hesitation. Maintain strong eye contact or deliver a compelling introduction. Rewarding achievements, even minor ones, reinforces positive behavior, boosts morale, and strengthens the association between effort and success. Celebrations create a sense of accomplishment that energizes further practice. Use recordings as a tool to track incremental progress. Listening to past sessions allows you to hear improvements in pronunciation, pacing, and clarity over time. Noticing growth in your own voice provides validation and reinforces the value of consistent practice. Reviewing recordings objectively highlights strengths and areas for refinement, guiding targeted improvement. Vary practice exercises to maintain engagement and prevent stagnation. Rotate between formal introductions, casual conversations, 1-minute pitches, and storytelling exercises. Variety ensures that you develop versatility in communication while keeping practice dynamic and stimulating. Diverse exercises train adaptability, enabling confident introductions in any situation. Pair practice with feedback whenever possible. Engage friends, mentors, or colleagues to provide constructive observations on your delivery. Feedback offers an external perspective, highlights overlooked habits, and accelerates improvement. Combining self-reflection with external input ensures a well-rounded approach to developing strong communication skills. Focus on quality over quantity during daily practice. It is better to have a short, concentrated session of deliberate effort than a long, distracted session. Concentrated practice reinforces intentional skill development, enhances retention, and builds a foundation for confident real-world application. Each focused session compounds over time, creating measurable growth. Integrate mindfulness into your practice. Pay attention to your tone, volume, body language, and choice of words as you speak. Mindful awareness prevents automatic habits, such as filler words or rushed delivery, ensuring that each practice session strengthens both technical skill and presence. Mindfulness enhances clarity, confidence, and authentic engagement with your audience. Set specific metrics for success to celebrate progress objectively. Track milestones, such as maintaining a 1-minute pitch flawlessly, delivering an introduction without fillers, or commanding attention in practice sessions. Measuring achievement helps you see tangible growth and reinforces the impact of consistent daily effort. Celebrating measurable wins strengthens motivation and commitment. Visualize successful interactions as part of your daily routine. Mentally rehearsing speaking scenarios primes your mind for confident execution and reduces anxiety in real situations. Visualization reinforces learned patterns, strengthens self-assurance, and enhances overall performance. Combining mental rehearsal with active practice maximizes progress efficiently. Recognize the value of patience in daily practice. Improvement in speech, fluency, and confidence occurs gradually, and sustained effort produces long-term transformation. You're comparing yourself to others or rushing results. Instead, focus on your personal journey, small milestones, and cumulative growth. Patience nurtures resilience and reinforces a disciplined approach. Integrate accountability mechanisms to maintain consistency. Track practice sessions in a journal, set reminders, or share progress with a mentor. Accountability increases commitment, reinforces habits, and reduces the likelihood of skipped practice. When effort is consistent, skill develops steadily, and confidence becomes enduring. Acknowledge setbacks as part of the growth process. Occasional mistakes, awkward deliveries, or forgotten lines are opportunities to learn rather than failures. Reflect on these moments constructively, adjust your approach, and continue practicing with renewed focus. Embracing setbacks strengthens resilience, encourages persistence, and ensures continued progress. Celebrate cumulative growth, not just isolated successes. Periodically review recordings from weeks or months prior to see how far your skills have advanced. Recognizing transformation over time highlights the power of consistent effort and builds motivation to maintain daily practice. Long-term perspective reinforces dedication and satisfaction with ongoing improvement. Incorporate creative practice methods to enhance engagement. Practice introductions in front of a mirror. Record video clips or simulate real-life interactions. Creativity keeps practice stimulating, builds confidence in diverse scenarios, and enhances adaptability. Innovative exercises make the learning process enjoyable while reinforcing skill development. Pair practice with reflection on impact. After each session, consider how improvements in delivery, tone, or confidence influence audience perception. Understanding the practical effects of your speaking skills reinforces motivation and highlights the tangible benefits of consistent effort. Reflection ensures practice is meaningful and outcome-focused. Maintain a positive mindset toward incremental progress. Celebrate every reduction in filler words, smoother pacing, clearer pronunciation, and more confident posture. Each small victory reinforces self-belief and strengthens the connection between effort and reward. Positive reinforcement encourages continued dedication to daily practice. Commitment to daily practice transforms speaking from a skill into an instinct. Over time, deliberate effort, reflection, feedback, and celebration of small wins create confident, clear, and compelling communication that feels effortless. Regular practice ensures that every introduction, presentation, or conversation becomes an opportunity to connect, impress, and leave a lasting positive impression. Embracing consistent practice and valuing small wins is the ultimate strategy for mastering self-introduction, fluency, and confident communication. By investing in legitimate, daily effort, tracking progress, and celebrating achievements, every interaction becomes a chance to demonstrate growth, build presence, and solidify the habit of excellence. Mastery is the result of persistence, focus, and recognition of progress, and with each small victory, your ability to communicate with clarity, confidence, and authenticity grows stronger and more natural.